Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another week of Growing with My Fellow Growers. I am your host, Jack Greenstock, joined as always by an amazing panel. I'm going to pass it over first to Spartan Grow.
Thank you, Jack. I am Spartan Grown. You can find me on Instagram at Spartan Grown, all one word, no spaces. Otherwise, you can shoot me a email at spartangrown@gmail.com or russ@gmlarmy.com, and I can help you with your growing or lighting questions.
Happy to have you back. I just clicked over to the live chat. We're going to be doing some chat Q&A tonight, so if you have any questions, feel free to drop them and tag us. But without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Noah the Grower.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Noah the Grow on Instagram, all one word, no spaces. You can find me there and happy to be here.
Happy to have you back. Happy to see Seed Person number one, literally the first in the chat, but also the number one crown. Welcome back, Seed Person, a longtime listener and just a straight up awesome grow me. He's been one of those people who left the state, like myself, a little bit of a Canna refugee, left his home state to go to another state with greener pastures. And shout out to him for, having less stress and headaches and more plant counts and more legal access. And he's using it. He's making seeds. He's spreading them around. So shout out to Seed Person One, Goth Girl, all the cool, interesting creations he has got going on. I said foliar and water as one of the topics for any non-chat Q&A things that we could get to in a little bit. But something, an update in my garden that I mentioned, well, haven't mentioned yet, and it's not a shot at Spartan Grown or Subcool, who I got the genetics from. However, I was vegging Project V F2, and I had one male and one female. And I kind of planned, okay, I'll take cuts of this male, and if I like it, I'll end up breeding with it. Well, I've decided I'm not going to end up keeping it and breeding with it because it flowered during veg in a 2 gallon pot. It was fine in like the solo cup. It was fine in the 2 gallon pot for a little bit. And I thought it started showing sex. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, well, it's definitely a male. I'll keep it in veg and it'll be fine. But lo and behold, it just full on flowered. So I don't know if it's like an early flower or maybe the 17 or 18 wasn't enough, but or maybe it wasn't getting a direct enough light, or maybe it was just stressed out. I wasn't taking good enough care of it in the 2 gallon pot. I like to assume that it was me, not the genetics. But with that being said, I like to have something that is a little bit more newbie friendly for myself and for anybody else who
Yeah.
might grow something from that line. And so I know that's just not what the best representation of Vortex is and what Subcool made and what you have made. So I figured don't take the one that I have just because I have it out of convenience. I should take it if it's good and has good qualities. So I decided because it doesn't have what I'm looking for necessarily, and the fact that it flowered during a 17 or 18 hour light cycle, um, I decided that I'm gonna end up cutting that one out probably. So it was fun to see actually its structure and how it grew and when it did make structures and things like that. But I will keep the Project V F2 female that I have and mess around with that for a couple runs for sure. But I want to take a second to welcome in because he just joined us, the American one. Cheers, Tom.
Cheers, Jack, panel, and everyone in chat. I'm the American one over on the YouTube and the American one underscore with underscore Keens on the IG. And yeah, glad I made it. Good to see everybody.
Glad to have you back. Just finishing in a little bong toke there to get the show rolling. Start off on a good note. I know Spartan was doing some dabs before with anything grows over there. So cheers to them out in Michigan, enjoying a little partaking as well. So I'm sure Noah and Tal will be, if they haven't already, at some point tonight. So nice to toke along if you aren't already, or maybe you're growing along and you're in the garden and thinking about, oh man, I don't want to see a male throwing pollen in my uh, veg even, because if you have
I've
flowering
seen it
plants,
before, man. I think it's really something to do with if their roots get stressed. Like if you get them in a tight spot or they don't have enough space to keep continually growing root wise, they get anxious and like fuck this, time to reproduce.
I've seen it usually in solo cups if you don't get them out of the solo
Yeah.
cup fast enough. But this was in like it was a 1 gallon easy swap pot, but if they're technically like 2 gallons of soil, I had it in there probably a bit too long, admittedly. So it's on me. Like I said, I'm not gonna put it on the genetics. I just know with my own plant keeping not always being on point as it should be, I can't necessarily risk keeping
Yeah, but
something.
like you said, that's a sign like it stress triggers shit in it quickly. That's not usually something you want in your garden.
And even Subcool, I think, said don't pick the first male to flower, right? Because like it'll go into auto flower or even hemp stuff. And I think he also said like don't pick the last one. He wanted, or maybe he did pick the last one. I can't remember exactly what his recommendations were. Now I'd have to go back through some of the old school weed nerds, but you know the dank live streams and all that good stuff. But yeah, he had a lot of, in my opinion, good advice. And bred a lot of really fire shit. So I think good to try and replicate or breed with some of the stuff that he's working with, if possible. But in this case, it didn't line up as much as I would have liked to have that happen. That being said, I just got a new little foliar mist spray bottle, which is going to come in handy as I go to clean out my tent later this week and get all of that pollen off the walls and off of my other female plants so that they don't, for anybody who doesn't know, pollen gets deactivated by water. And so it won't be actively able to pollinate the flower plants later. I am a little bit worried that I might have some seeds here or there, which not the biggest worry in the world because, if I have some, I was kind of planning to work with it anyway, but not like enough to do any commercial or like testers, just like stuff to have a little fun in house. Because I'm sure there's going to be some in some fan somewhere, some filter somewhere, some piece of Velcro is going to catch a little bit of it, keep it nice and dry, and wait till right when they're in flower and dump that little pollen granule on there, and it will somehow be viable.
Yeah,
Even
but that
though
will be a fucking amazing story if it comes out to be something that's worthwhile that comes out of that
the
seed.
unicorn,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. And it'll be hitting like a GG4 or a Death Star or another Vortex or something good. So just like with Josie when he made the GG4, it's like if you have a bunch of fire in the room and one thing pollinates something else, it's like, well, it's fire hit fire, so it might be worth growing out. And sometimes you end up with a GG4 or a Chem 91 or whatever it is, Girl Scout cookie, lots of different OG Kush. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. That one always kind of blows my mind, but it doesn't make me lean away from intentional breeding because there's also Super Silver Haze and Blueberry and other stuff that was bred intentionally. Going back even to like Neville's work and NO5, Greg, McAllister, and all those guys that did some like work, whether it was line work or selection. Lots of cool breeding was done intentionally that made some really fire stuff. Just because it doesn't have to be the top 1% that became universally loved across the board. I think there's some stuff. Some of my favorite stuff is honestly probably shit that nobody's ever heard of or really is ever gonna smoke because it was like a tester. It was something that I like, grew once, smoked once, and like didn't keep a cut of, and so it's gone. And I did maybe it's the Great White Buffalo element of it, but it's like also just the uniqueness element of it. It's like if you, as much as I love GG4, GG4 is like a staple. It's like a flavor that's in the nether. It's in the out there in the ether. People know what it is. They know what it smells like. They know what it tastes like. If you had a buddy come over and say, "Hey, I grew this new strain that I've never grown before, never smoked before. Um, check it out." You're probably gonna be like, "Oh shit, I want to try that." I'm not even gonna ask any more questions. Like, what does it taste like? Is it an indica or a sativa? Is it a hybrid or whatever? No, you're just like, you've never grown it before? It sounds interesting. I'd like to give it a shot. Maybe it's awesome. Maybe it sucks. But most of us, I think, are open-minded enough to want to try new stuff pretty often. And I think if we're honest with ourselves, maybe sometimes the gems are diamonds in the rough that are kind of just like hidden out there. And they might not always be that big flagship strain name that you might have heard of. But I want to take a second before he takes a bong rip, because it looks like he's getting loaded up there, to welcome in Brandon Rust. Cheers, Brandon.
Cheers, everybody. What's going on? Hope everybody's having a great Sunday. If you're not already familiar with me, I'm Brandon Rust. You can find me on Instagram at rust.brandon, and you can find all of our products on Full Crop Sciences website. We're having 30% off on Micro Plus right now, so good time to stock up.
It's my favorite product from Full Crop Sciences, formerly known as Bokashi Earthworks, because my bottles probably still say that, as I've been using them for a while and they stay good for a while. And it smells good, even though it has gotten old and hasn't been like stored super meticulously. Usually cool, dark place or whatever, but sometimes it gets hot here and I'm not running AC. And I always worry with like some stuff like that that seems more like live or biological, like even like the Alaskan fish fertilizer. Like I know it's probably just blended up fish or whatever, and I don't know uh, how much it's gonna extra ferment in there or something. But yeah, I don't know. If you keep it in a hot garage or something, I might be a little bit worried to go open that thing up after a nice, warm, humid summer day. But that being said, I've never had that issue with Bokashi Earthworks. It always smells great. It always works great, and the plants almost like have a nice little lift to them after I use it. So uh, unlocking what's already in the soil, typically, I would say, in a mix like mine. And yeah, very efficient product, I would say, which I'm a big fan of. And seeing more outside of cannabis, even just like the regenerative agriculture being accepted and pushed and celebrated, whether it's
It's incentivized, Stephen. $700 million
federal
in
governments.
RCS, Regenerative Agriculture Pilot Program. You can get up to $150,000.
As it should be, because why keep destroying the planet with fucking,
Dude,
artificial fertilizer that doesn't get absorbed and goes into the runoff water?
I ran the numbers. because I was like my 3-year lease up on my office, and I pay $2,800 a month for my office, and I was looking at the amount of money that I would have for a FSA loan because they'll give you a loan for property and they'll give you operating expenses. I could take a loan out for $377,000 and still be paying less than I do for my monthly lease. So my goal right now is I've been looking for properties in Oklahoma, trying to find like an old like a shut down cannabis farm, someone that went out of business because I have all the infrastructure, but I'm gonna do a regenerative agriculture produce farm. I'm gonna grow things like blueberries and raspberries and strawberries and leafy greens, garlic, stuff like that. And what I plan to do is get a farm, start a new business doing organic produce, and then move my business to the farm, finish remodeling my house, rent out my house as like a rental property, and then move to the farm and have everything be all in one location because I'll save like $2,000 a month if I move out of my house, or even a little bit more than that even. And I'll actually be able to generate money off of this property. And the thing is, like, you only need 5% down for the FSA program, and you only need a 640 credit score. And with doing that and incentivizing everything through these government grants, because it's not just the NRCS grant, there's all types of different grants from the USDA, both state and federal, equip grants. There's all these different grant programs for exactly what we're doing. So it didn't make sense from a logistical standpoint to not do it.
Definitely worth checking your state and local programs because even cities, counties, et cetera, have like if you compost or if you offer a community compost or if you offer vegetables at something or like there's like C Corps and B Corps and all those different things that have different rules and like I worked with a special needs guy who worked on this farm that ended up serving growing organic produce that was sold locally and my wife ended up working at one of the restaurants that sold the food grown at the farm and I think it's interesting how you can work together and kind of gain those local benefits because I think we should reward kind of keeping things local and cleaner and better for the environment and for the people. So, hats off to you for going through that. I'm curious because tonight I was kind of thinking about water generally and maybe how we can use it most efficiently, but also what our stock, especially as you're scaling up to like a farm. I know if you're just doing a few plant hydro grow or organics grow indoors, you could get away with lugging 5 gallon jugs back and forth of, Primo water from the machine or something, or you could go to your local water center that has, RO water, or you could buy yourself an RO water system, or you can get a Berkey water filter, or you can get a number of the zero water pitchers or buckets. And there's so many different options for
Yeah.
water. And it's a huge part of agriculture, horticulture, etc. So I'm
Largest
curious,
input.
largest input. And I saw you comment on somebody else's post that somebody sent to me that said water is inorganic. And you're like, watch my recent YouTube video. My thought on that was, well, every single farm that is considered organic uses water. So that's kind of a semantics
Well,
argument. They're talking about it not being carbon based because it's
it is.
H2O,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you're
Yeah.
putting so
So he's correct, but again, it is semantics
it's
because
like a technically yes,
it's just like saying rosin isn't solventless because
it
water
touched
is a
water.
universal solvent. It's the
Right,
same kind
right.
of concept. And the thing is, like, you like trying to understand what type of filtration you needed to be testing your water. It doesn't matter if you're a small home grower or if you're a commercial farm, right? The first thing that you should always do, and one of the things that I do when I go look at these properties is I get water samples because I have to test out the well water. I mean, because that could be a huge cost. And I'll give you an example. When we had Black Label, that 40-acre farm that we had set up, we had really high boron in the water. So we initially set up a really like badass beast mode RO system where we could, make like, I don't know, 3,000 gallons of RO water a day. We'd never need that much, but we could make that much, right? And I started testing the water and soil. And I kept seeing, or I kept testing the soil and I kept seeing boron levels go up. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I tested the water and I don't know why I didn't catch it the first time, but the boron levels were elevated. And it's like, so that RO system isn't adequate. So you need something else to just to remove that boron. It's like a $3,000, add-on. And so without that, the cultivation couldn't have continued because what would happen was every run the plants would have been boron, there would have been boron toxicity.
Like
And the thing
locking out
is, it's
everything
like you
else.
could kind of mitigate it by adding more calcium, like that. But like after a while, it's
Less
like
than
you put the
ideal.
calcium too high and then you're antagonizing the other nutrients. And so but whether it's boron, sometimes you just need a KDF and sediment filter, right? Because you actually have pretty clean water. Sometimes you don't need to do anything. Like at my house, I'm on a well. When I tested this water, it was like 28 ppm total. Or
Does that
50, no,
change
it was
season to season?
56.
Because
No,
I
it
know
was
people.
56. My soil, because it's all sand, was 58 ppm. So my water has more nutrition in it than my sand, I should say, does. But it's like different situations and different scenarios, they require different solutions. So it's like RO isn't going to mitigate things like high boron. So it's like you need to test your water. And then the thing is, too, is even if you're using a filter, you need to test your water after the filter to make sure that that filter is working and to determine when to change out your membranes and your filters. Because oftentimes, what I've seen is the manufacturer's recommendations for when you're supposed to be changing out membranes and filters, there it's always contingent on how dirty your water is. Like so me, if I was, let's say in more, right? My filters are probably going to last a lot longer because their city water has far less stuff in it, to where it maybe not even need to be filtered that much. And well, somewhere else, maybe up in Michigan or whatever, their water's super dirty and their membranes need to be changed every 2 months.
I had a guy in Michigan
Or
on a well who was saying during certain times of season it'd be super low, and then like they'd get
that's
lots of
no
rains or it'd get super
groundwater.
dry, and then
Yeah.
you'd have crazy from like
Yeah.
2,000 ppm to 50 ppm
Yeah.
range swings.
And I've been to different places all over, and I've seen so many different water samples. Like there's been places where the water was so bad that if you put it in a humidifier, it would literally put calcify like the shelves and the
That's common.
walls,
That's common.
like
Sadly, that's common.
stuff
Like I
like
see
that.
that
And it's like,
way
okay.
more often.
And then often someone will think, oh, I need a water softener. It's like, no, 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 no. What you need to do is you need to completely remove all of what that is. And if it's like if you're in a place where it's really bad water and the city's the one that's doing it, it's like they can be really difficult, right? It's like it might not be worth the juice might not be worth the squeeze to set up in an area before knowing what that water quality is. Because if you're in like a place like Ada, right, out here in Oklahoma, their water is fucking notoriously bad. Right? It's probably the worst water I've ever seen. The ppm is around 600 and it's all calcium. It just precipitates all over everything.
What do you think the ppm of Flint or some of these other cities that have
Oh
brown water coming
Jesus,
out of their
dude.
taps, dude? You can light that shit on fire.
Well, there's a difference between dissolved solutes and particulates as well, because you can have contamination, mud, you could have things that aren't on that micro scale that nutrient ions are, like calcium and magnesium and boron and sodium and bicarbonate and all that other stuff. But those
Well, it
are
could be a positive thing too. You could just have like some hard water that has, just mostly calcium carbonate
yeah.
or whatever, and that could be a positive. You don't want to filter that out. You could just adjust your feed a little bit to account for it.
Exactly. That's another thing that I tell people because oftentimes some say, oh, well, I have 200 ppm. I need to filter my water. It's like, well, why don't you check to see what that is? Because if we're talking about that being divided amongst calcium, magnesium, potassium, iron, stuff like that, it's like, bam, dude, you're getting free stuff from your water. So just adjust your feeding program, like you said.
Yeah.
What do you think about chlorine, chloramide?
No. So here's the thing. I think that whole thing is a myth. I don't know who started it, but the thing is, I've never seen any water, treated, untreated, that has high enough levels that has harmed soil biology. I've just never seen it. And I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but as far as my experience goes, it's more like a myth. Here's the thing. So chlorine, the amount that you'd have to like to ruin a system, you're talking about like pool shock levels, you know what I mean? Where you're using like pool chlorinated levels, not like tap water drinking safe levels. Um,
It's like parts per billion. It's very low. in
And
almost all water.
and we're talking about chlorine. Chlorine, you don't even need a filter. You can just
Air it out.
oxidize. You can just oxidize your water.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
some guy in Canada did a YouTube video of him. He sent the water away
Yeah.
and with the microbes and stuff, and it didn't kill anything. Regular straight up chlorinated water out of the tap right on the microbes, and it didn't kill them.
Yeah.
But chloramine, I don't even know if
But
that's
the
real
thing,
or not. Like, that's no thing. I don't even
I've
know.
never
But
even seen a test for chloramine. You know what
right,
I mean?
every time I
I've
knew,
never been like, oh, hey, there's too much chloramine in water, or someone was concerned about something that was happening, and oh, look at you got high chloramine level.
right, you never even seen that or
You
heard of
never
it.
hear about it.
Yeah.
The only thing you hear is a dude who's selling a water filter talk about, you know, chlorine and. But the thing is, it's not a one. It's not a just like everything in this space. It's not a one shoe fits all scenario.
I agree with that. I'm curious. I want to pass it around because I know everyone is in different situations. I think Noah has mentioned in the past that he likes a Berkey filter. That's kind of just like a simple filter to get rid of some stuff, maybe drop the PPMs down a little bit and just get it more into a range. And some people will use those as like a front thing before it goes into the RO to make the RO not work as hard. So you don't have to swap the membranes as often. So you do like a pre-filter kind of situation. But no, I'm curious if you have thoughts on water in general and your filter kind of options.
I'm in the middle of cleaning my Berkey right now. I've been meaning to do it for a little while. I actually got the recommendation from Spartan Grown. Shout out to him. But before that, I'm just a cheap home grower. That was the whole reason why I was excited to come on way back in the day. I come from that point of view. So the Berkey water filter works just fine for me. I also use a 80% to 90%, organic. Yeah, sometimes I'll throw a little bit of here and there of some salt if I feel bored or if I want to. But so my soil is pretty forgiving. My local water is good. The Berkey water filter does great for me. Before that, for a long time, I grew fire just letting the water sit out for a day. And I know a lot of people swear by reverse osmosis. Sometimes I feel like you can take a little bit too much out. Obviously you can supplement with CalMag or whatever you're doing. But me personally, the Berkey water filter works great. And I'm having a great time doing it. And it's cheap, it's easy, and it's that's the way I fly.
Hey man, it works. We got a quick question from Stang Man, who said, "Does anyone use drops of balance? It's a water conditioner geared towards cannabis H2O use." That makes me a little bit skeptical straight out of the box as soon as it's geared towards cannabis. I know
Yeah.
there are some nutrient lines that'll work for cannabis that are geared toward cannabis, but they're usually sold with the cannabis tax. So it's like you could use Jack's 321 just as well as you could use Canna nutrients. Not to say Canna nutrients won't work, they do. It's just they're probably a little more
It's all the
expensive. They
same
might be more
stuff.
convenient. Exactly. It's all the same stuff in different packaging for the most
I
part. If you
remember
look
I
at Brian
got
420 PM, he has a good breakdown of all the different actual nutrients. So there is some differences between one to the other, but for the most part, they're all going to do the same thing. You're going to get it into a certain nutrient element ratio and grow the plant. So
I've got a 12-year-old dog here that decided to get the zoomies.
is it your bulldog?
No, no, he's like half beagle, half basset hound.
Okay,
Copper.
I was gonna say, do you still have that bulldog? I remember you had a bulldog a
Yeah, I
while back.
do.
The skateboarding one?
He's 5 though. This one's Copper.
Oh shoot, Copper.
Puppy.
Copper's an OG. Looks like a good old boy.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
It's like
Hi, buddy.
let's go Pico
I've
training.
had some drops off balance was sent to me and I've used it before. And I think that what the stuff was about was it had to do with it like neutralized heavy metals or something in your water. And when I looked at the bottle, it looked like it was just a bunch of sulfates, like a bunch of different things attached to sulfur, like a magnesium sulfate. And I don't know, there's like a big list
Iron
on the
sulfate,
bottle. So
calcium
it's
sulfate.
honestly it's like almost like a fertilizer of some sort, but just
Oh,
based with sulfur.
people come up with anything.
It's like I'd rather just not use my heavy metal latent water. I'm gonna get some clean water that doesn't have
Yeah.
any heavy
Well, I've
metal in
used
it.
it. I used it, but I didn't see it like make any difference. So I was like, it was just one of those things. Like, well, I didn't see enough difference to make me want to buy it.
Chalk it up to not worth it. Anybody else try that one?
Nah, I've
What
never.
about Tao? Do you have any thoughts on water
I
filtration?
never tried any of the additives to make the water better, but whenever I move to a different place, I always call up the water company and ask them what they put in the water. And on Long Island, it was just limestone and I think chlorine. And but not they never say chloramine anywhere. It was like three different. I only went it was in three different places. But yeah, I'll call and ask them what the deal is with the water because like yeah, on Long Island there's some well water, but a lot of it was from aquifers. And that shit, like, I don't know if I told the story here, but when I first started growing a long time ago, there was one hydroponic place, and the dudes had come from Oregon. It was a couple, an old dude and his old lady, and they like, yeah, we moved to Long Island because it has the best water in the country. So that was good to hear, and yeah, it is uh, when I go to other states, water is not supposed to have a smell. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to not have a smell. And when I go to other states, some of it has a smell and shit. It's definitely different across the country for
Chemical
sure.
or
Yeah,
swampy are like the
chemical,
two.
swampy, chlorine. Sometimes it smells like rust.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah,
Sulfur. You
Rusty
gas.
get sulfur
pipes is a
sometimes.
big
Yeah,
problem.
there's a lot of different things. But yeah, and Brandon's right. You should check your water. You know, because like you're saying, you don't even know what's in your pipe. So
In
the water
California, they have to
from
send you like a paper. I think they do once a year, even if you don't
yeah,
ask.
yeah,
But
yeah.
if
You
you
get
ask,
online pretty much what's in your
they'll
water
post like a monthly
from
report. They have to legally test it.
Yeah,
right.
but it's
But
a
when
really
they
Otherwise,
good
they'll
send
point
fine
it to
that
you,
it's a
but
really
by the
good point
time
what
it
Tal's
gets
bringing up right here, though. It doesn't matter. I
right,
mean, it
what goes
matters
through your
what they're
house,
giving you, but you still don't know what's in your pipe, so you
the
still
if
should
you have a
probably get
rusty ass
exactly.
pipe, it doesn't matter how clean it is at the source.
Yeah, you should
And
still get it tested just to get an idea what the fuck you got. Because no matter
and
what, that gets rid of all the variables and just says, okay, this is the water I'm using. What's in it?
right, that's all. You're exactly
It's
right.
also comforting to know like I'm showering with this water, putting it all over my water because when I saw the Flint stuff and some of the other cities who had stuff that related to fracking or whatever, groundwater contaminations, people got sick, started losing hair, having bad rashes and stuff like that. So it was coming from the water, but it's hard to put two and two together. You just shower every day, and then all of a sudden that water that was just fine a month ago starts killing you. It's like that's pretty fucked. So testing the water that you have coming out of your faucets, your taps, etc., is it might
Makes
be a little
sense.
bit of an
Yeah.
expense, but if you're finding issues, especially, it might be worth looking into something like that, or just if you don't have issues, looking into whatever the city does provide, because I think it is a good general outline. They'll say like we use chlorine and we put whatever else in there, and there's X amount of parts per million, and then you test it and it's within 10% or whatever if they say, then you can be relatively confident that they're accurate and you don't have any issues with your pipes or plumbing or whatever it is. So worth considering for sure, I think. And somebody followed up with a question: clay pipes, STL. Shout out to you, clay pipes. That's a name I recognize. Anyone used Super Thrive? I haven't. I've seen it about a zillion times at every grocery store ever.
I have used Super Thrive. Super Thrive is just like humic acid or something, I
I think
think.
it's
No,
like
no, no, it's
B
not. Super
vitamins.
Thrive is,
Oh, it's
yeah.
B vitamins. That's what it was. Yeah, yeah.
So what does that do
Yeah.
for the plant? Does it do
It's for cloning.
anything?
Use it for cloning. So when you mix up a little bit of cloning solution, you can put some Super Thrive in there, or if you're like wetting your slabs down or your root plugs down, you can add a little of that Super Thrive in there. We used to, so when I back in the day when I used to do hydroponics, what I would do is I would take the Super Thrive, and there was another one which was the Hormex in
Oh yeah,
the
Ormex.
little
That's
white
old
bottle.
school. Yeah.
And we would and I'd mix up a solution, pH it, and then I would put the pre-soak all the rock wools in that solution before I took cuts.
Good shit. Ormex was some fucking old school shit, man. I
I
remember a
still see
big
it.
bottle of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they still have
Hormex.
it. Yeah.
It's still around. Noah Legro, have you ever used Super Thrive? Mute button stuck over there.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I have long time ago. I didn't feel like it was prudent to my room. Like I said, I come from a cheap home grow room, and you'd be surprised, man, how many people are like, "Oh, you need this, you need that." Man, you need like a microbe, you need like a pace, you need a little CalMag if you're filtering your water. You don't need a whole lot, and actually, you don't want a whole lot. So, uh,
Great
it's
advice.
Yeah, I mean, you can overdo it. I mean, obviously in veg, you're going to want some nitrogen, but and not microbes too. But I mean, you don't need a whole lot. So.
I know, as ancient as Tao is, he's been around since the beginning of freaking time. Guy is aging in reverse. He's been around and growing for longer than all of us have been alive accumulatively. But Tao, in your time, you have to have had
Yes, I
used
definitely
Super
use
Thrive.
I've used Super Thrive, and
What
I
do you
might even
think?
have some hidden away somewhere in
I'm
my
sure you do
junk.
squirreled away
But
somewhere.
yeah, it smells like Flintstone vitamins when you're a kid. You chew them up. It smells like vitamins to me. I think it might be more than just B12, but I like if you use it according to the instruction, it probably can't hurt. But I don't think it's worth like going out of your way to go get it. Um, but yeah, and a couple times I thought I was under the impression maybe if you overdid it, you get some funky extra growth, like an extra leaf on a like that middle finger leaf kinda, or and
So
I don't
maybe
know
there's
if
a
that's
hormone.
any true or not, but yeah,
Maybe it has
I,
some hormone, or
it
maybe the
might have
B
or something
vitamin affects his
triggers
hormone.
something. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know if that's true or not. But I think I definitely had that suspicion at one point.
That's interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
I never personally used it. I feel like it was expensive for as little as it was. I also know a cheap home grow guy. You were talking about how it's like it smells like Flintstone vitamins. He was using like protein shakes because he looked at like the like
the ingredients,
sodium,
right?
calcium, all the different stuff that was in there, and a lot of it was what the plants crave. So he thought, and he wasn't having terrible results, shockingly. So I that one still baffles my mind, but it's interesting what can work and what doesn't. But
Well, they
yeah,
do
I
say
think
our microbiome is a lot similar in our gut and in plant life because, yeah, that's basically where we get our gut micro, or where we should be getting our microbes for our gut
dude, it's crazy.
from
Like,
plant
I just
life.
saw there's been 100 documented cases of this thing. It's basically called like alcohol factory or alcohol gut factory syndrome or some shit. Every carbohydrate these people eat, they have too much of some sort of microbe in their gut that converts alcohols into or not alcohols, carbohydrates into ethanol. So these people basically just get drunk if they eat too many carbs, like to the point where they're like literally falling over, hammered. Uh,
Well, then
Kind of
they love
fascinating.
carbs, probably. They're like, oh, give me some bread.
The cheapest way to get drunk, right? If you had something like that. And they're fixing it with the, fecal transplant. They were studying it here at UCSD. I'm here in San Diego, and that's one of the interesting things they've studied. And weirdly, they find benefit if you take a healthy person's gut and transplant it into an unhealthy person. You can make them within a year be no longer having the condition, but it only lasts like a year, and then they have to get more of it done. But still, I can't even imagine being mostly or partially Italian, growing up eating lots of carbs and still eating lots of carbs. I can't imagine if it got me hammered. I just had a non-alcoholic beer the other day. I'm not even an alcohol guy at all myself personally, but I used to be into the beer and wine and all the other good stuff. But these days, just cannabis for this individual, which we can keep on jibber jabbering about. I'm curious, Spartan, did you use Super Thrive or did you have general comments about it? You're muted.
But I have used Super Thrive, but I don't remember if I've ever used it on cannabis. I know I've used it like in the garden, like and and I always used it like when I'm planting and shit like that. So, but yeah, it's not one of those things that stuck out like that was super needed. So it wasn't something that I ever bought again. But yeah, I do remember trying it for sure.
I feel like I would use like a Clonex solution or a Mycos solution if I was looking for someone that I feel like would have more of an impact in kind of those areas, like the early starts or clone taking environment, versus a Super Thrive, because I feel like I just
I
don't
use
see
this
it.
fucking dry powder, some fucking whatever it is that I got at Lowe's or some shit.
I love that shit, dude.
Yeah.
The bone-eyed
Yeah,
rooting
it's just
powder or
fucking
whatever.
boom, done.
I've been
I
using
love
that
it.
for so many like years and
Me
years of
too.
clones,
I used
hundreds.
to use it almost the entire time I've been growing cannabis. It's just tried and true. I got it on clearance for like $2, a big old
There it
jug of it.
is.
There it is, that same shit. Yeah.
Yep, that's the exact one I've got.
And it's
Exact same size and
dry, so you
everything.
don't worry about contamination and all that bullshit.
So much better than Clonex, in my opinion. I don't like the gel. I like the
Yeah, and
powder.
that's $6 a bottle. I mean, dude, that's $6. You can take 3 to 4 thousand clones with that bottle. Some
I was gonna say I've probably got
people
another
under
couple
I don't
thousand
think people
left.
understand how efficient using that is.
Oh,
The only
that's
thing
what
more
I
efficient
do.
is making your own IBA.
Yeah. Would you make it from?
Yeah.
Isn't it from like tree bark or some shit?
You just buy pure IBA in a from like a supplier, and then you just pre-mix it into the talc powder.
Ah, I see, I see. Like a similar thing to like how you can produce microbes or spores or things of that
Yep.
nature.
Yeah, I don't have any filler on our stuff though. Ours is all pure spores.
All killer, no filler.
It's all killer, no filler. You know what? We have Rhizophagus irregularis, which is a mycorrhizal fungus that is we're waiting on approval from the USDA. So soon that'll hit.
What is the benefit of something like that versus a regular mycorrhizal that we would
It's
typically use?
optional. Here's the thing. So when you have good soil architecture, good hydrology, good pH, access to carbon and nutrients, things play well together. So it's just something that you could add to the arsenal with the trichoderma and the bacillus. Some people like trichoderma, so, like myself. Some people want mycorrhizal fungi. So I figured I have access to it, might as well, in pure, spore form like the rest of my stuff. So figured I'd register it as a soil amendment and
Be good stuff for people that are reusing the same pots or have beds and stuff like that. You give it time to
yeah.
establish, and it's really going to benefit.
Yeah, because I get one of the questions that I've gotten pretty frequently was whether or not trichoderma would outcompete mycorrhizal fungus, and so I've seen papers that show it does. I've seen them work synergistically together, and it all comes down to environment, right?
I did I say, do they look at like where they exist in the soil block per se? Like I'm just hypothesizing that maybe the trichoderma likes to hang out a little bit higher, and then the fungi can hang out lower, or maybe vice versa in a soil bed and still, instead of
Well,
trying to colonize the entire space, I guess.
I feel like
the
one of
thing
them has to
about
do better at a different temperature than another. Like if it was really cold, you're gonna have a different mix than if it's really hot versus if it's like a really average room. They might play together in the average room. They might have one get dominated in the cold and the other one dominate in the warm, so to speak. Kind of that
But they're
relationship.
different though. Like the mycorrhizal fungi go into the plant, right? And the trichoderma that never goes into the plant. I don't
it
think it
does.
just it
No, it
does.
does. Yeah,
Okay,
so
school us.
trichoderma does all of the same things that mycorrhizal fungus does, but it does more, right? So it's also a saprophytic microorganism. It can live in decaying material. It can live as a free living soil microorganism, but it can also work as an endophyte because not only does it colonize the root systems, just like mycorrhizal does, but it also colonizes the vascular transport tissue. So does
That's what I was gonna
Bouvet
say. That's how it
Bassiana.
stops the molds and stuff. That's how it's able to prevent some of these things from happening, is it kind of prevents it
There's
from
not a
inside
lot of
out.
science on that I've seen on the endophytic effects, like what types of metabolites those things are producing internally inside of the plant. I'd love to see some research on that. But last year at CanMed, they had, there was a research paper and they showed the colonization of the vascular transport tissue by those microorganisms. So trichoderma was one of them. Bouveria bassiana was another one of them. And that I was like, fuck yeah. Because I felt super validated. You know what I mean? Because I've been saying that the same thing about the biocrop steering protocols and stuff like that for years now. And those are
You'd
two
think it
different.
might even activate the plant's SAR response or whatever, where, it kicks up its immune system because it's like, oh
They
shit,
do.
I'm being.
Yeah, so they produce VOCs that act as signaling molecules. They produce siderophores, which chelate iron, reduce and keep iron in a available form. They produce antimicrobial secondary metabolites. They produce different types of enzymes. I did a podcast on no, it's coming up. So I'm doing a podcast on Tuesday at 5:30 and it's for people who always want to question organic versus synthetic, I break it down to where like basically that's subjective. What you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to give you the science. And the science on this particular episode is all about how the different carbon metabolites that are being produced by microorganisms actually interface with nutrient transport systems. So how does it interface with mass flow? How does it interface with diffusion? How does it interface with root interception? And different things do different things. Different metabolites do different things biochemically, whether it's improving soil architecture for better root penetration, or whether it is stimulating lateral root growth and fine root hairs, or whether it's um, chelating nutrients or creating higher availability of nutrient pools. There's all these different things that interface with the way that plants transport nutrients, and it's like carbon is the thing that upgrades those systems.
Had a few good comments from the chat. Most recently, Stony Creek mentioned that they like to use aloe when cloning, which I've also been a fan of. It's got multiple benefits from kind of preventing bad stuff from forming while also promoting good rooting. You can just use an aloe actual cut of it and literally shove it inside there and they'll eventually root. But even just working it around in there usually does a great job. So I'm a big fan of aloe, and aloe is replicatable. My one neighbor grew it all the way around their house, like all everywhere. They had so much aloe so everybody could have it whenever they wanted it. And so it's pretty awesome to have a bunch of aloe available.
Yeah.
And so
If you give it enough pot space, aloe will go crazy. I have some in my bedroom that I use from time to time.
the other comment was about spring water. And that is something I hadn't personally used, but I feel like just from consuming of it, I know there's some minerality in there, so it's going to have a decent amount of ppm compared to like a distilled water or an ionized water or a filtered water of some other sort. So spring water, I would say, is going to come with higher numbers, but if you got it tested, or you could like look up if you're using like Deer Park or Arrowhead or whatever it is your local one is called, spring water, then you might have an idea of what ppm is already in the water and what it is made of. Is it calcium? Is it something else? Is it something to worry about? Typically, I would say it's not something to worry about in most cases, but it spring water is spring water. So I guess in some cases there is the low likelihood, but possibility of contamination and things of that sort, or just different sources having different qualities.
Well, just put your TDS meter in there and see what the EC it is at least. And if it's if you're coming out of one EC or some shit out of your tap water, or no matter what that is, it's probably not good. That's probably not a good thing. It's probably too much of something for sure.
Yeah.
The most common things that you'll find in water that you don't want to see is high sodium levels, high bicarbonate, high sulfur levels, and high calcium.
Sodium's a tricky one because the plant can really it really is strain dependent, but many plants can only handle a very small amount of it.
Yeah. Well, the biggest problem with sodium is that it will take up space on the soil colloids and in solution, and it'll antagonize the uptake of calcium, magnesium, and potassium.
Yeah, and it's important to keep everything balanced. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that we talk about because it's a easy thing to overlook. As looks like Tao is turning on his camera. You gonna show some plants here, Tao? Oh yeah, that's what I love to see. Turn the camera to the side so we can spotlight you full screen. Bada bing, bada boom. We're looking at Tao's garden, ladies and gentlemen. Tao, talk us through what we're looking at right now.
All right, so yeah,
Let's go.
these are the ones that I found that I forgot what they were, but they're the chocolate crossed with cheesequake, and I germ tested them, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna plant them. So I planted them. I got four. I'm pretty sure there's at least two girls, but I haven't really checked hard, so I don't know. But this is what's happening right now, and yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad I got babies back.
Sweet.
That's fucking badass, man. I like how you got them trained already. They're all fucking the same height. It's
I just
fucking
topped them, man. Pretty much this one, the one there, just really
that one.
filled in a lot. Yeah,
I
and
like how wide those spread right there. It's fucking nice.
yeah, they spread out on their own. I topped them once, and yeah, I'll be taking some of these lowers for clones, and I got to clean them up a little. I'm not gonna flip them. I'm gonna flip them shortly. I don't need. Yeah, I don't, they'll probably take over pretty good the way they are. So,
You just hand water them for now? Or are you gonna
yep,
hand
yep,
water them all the way through?
that's what I'm gonna do.
Hell yeah.
And it's just like soil. I amended the soil, and I'm gonna do water only pretty much. Maybe some microbes. That's about it, though.
I love it.
So yeah, we'll have updates as we go. So
Fucking nice. And these are all the same strain then. They're just different phenos.
yep, they're all the same from Chilcotai by Cheesequake.
Fucking nice.
This is a example of even the same strain grows a little different because it seems like they're getting relatively similar amount of light. They've all got the same pot size, probably all transplanted at the same time. And the back
Damn
right is
close.
clearly
Yep,
more vigorous. The front right is clearly a little more
shorty.
bushy.
Yeah,
And then the back left and front left are kind of like in between.
you're right. Yep, 100. That's exactly right.
But that's the fun thing is like you can find that one that in the back right might look the best right now, but when it comes to flower, it might be completely different. And then whatever one smokes the best is probably gonna be the one that you're gonna want to keep, regardless
That's
of how they're
exactly right.
growing early on.
But yeah, they all look happy. All the leaves look good. A couple of the old ones had some purple on the petioles, but yeah, everything's pretty much nice green, green.
How are temps and humidity?
Uh, well, actually, I don't know, 100%. I think the battery died in this one, but
How's your current water source?
my water is tap water right now, and I have checked it. I didn't get it, like I didn't send it away to Logan Labs or anything, but it's like 50 parts per million. And I checked it with these like strip tabs, so there's nothing too bad in there. But again, like I don't know because I didn't get it.
If you've
I
only
mean, the
got
plants
50
look like they're
parts per
doing good.
millions, you're you
A lot
really don't
cleaner
have
than most
anything
people.
to worry about, Not
Yeah.
typically, I mean, not unless
Unless
it's
it was
all
50 parts
sodium.
per million of arsenic or something.
Yeah, or like sodium, but
Cadmium.
it's probably like tiny bit, a couple of ppm of calcium, couple it's, you know, especially if it's city
Yeah.
water.
What did
And
they
there's
say
been
about
plenty of situations where I've been on city water and that city water was just fine.
bicarbonates? Someone had said they're really bad.
Yeah.
Like so, I was wondering, and they say that you can't really get rid of them unless you use like reverse osmosis. Is that true?
Well, no, you can't get, I mean, they build up in soil. You can't,
If they're in the water,
oh,
can you?
if they're in the water, no. Yeah, you can get rid of it. You can just filter it out.
Okay. Yeah, and on the
Reverse
filtering
osmosis will
part,
take out bicarbonate.
I've used RV filters just because like people say that they're totally useless, but I've used them before, my hose.
Yeah,
And
especially if
yeah,
you just have like sediment. Because like every once in a while there'll be like you could see a little oxidized iron like if the power goes out or something there's a storm and I have to reset my well pump all the water that comes out I have to let everything run for a little bit because you'll get that kind of you'll get that iron in there that oxidized iron but you just turn the water on and let the faucet run
for a while, yeah.
for five
That's what
minutes or whatever and it's back to
for my
normal.
humidifier, like you guys said, I got filter. I got like what is it? Pure water. No, zero water. I got a zero water filter that I try to use for my humidifier, but yeah,
That's always
lately I haven't
good.
been I don't think I'll need it. I gotta check in here though, because it's a lot more humid than it has been, I could tell. But yeah, I need
Once
to
the
get
plants get in
now.
there in the soil, it keeps things
These were
wet.
in the closet for a while. I just transplanted them like 3 or 4 days ago, 5 days ago, maybe. So yeah, I'm gonna dial in this room, get some more fans, and I'm gonna
Bet they're
turn up the
happy in that
light a
tent.
little.
I
What's that? Four by
accidentally
four.
I accidentally went in my grow like 2 minutes early before the lights turn on, and
Mm-hmm.
I automatically turned on the thing. I set it to manual instead of auto, and I forgot about it. And the light's been on for like 24 hours for like the last week.
Oh,
And they're like in the last stage of flowering, so it's like not really that detrimental, but I just realized it today. I was like, wait a minute, why the
You're
fuck
pumping
was
out
the
for that
light on?
maximum yield, bro. Fuck the terps. You're just going straight yield.
But what's interesting is like the shit is it finished faster than it normally does.
it kind of makes sense. It has
Doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I got way
more
more
energy,
light.
more light, right?
Yeah,
And
it did get
and
way
the
more light. Got
hormone,
24 hours of it's gotten probably 8 extra days of fucking light on it already.
Because you know that's what Jeff, Russ the Jeff says. I'm telling you, I heard him. Even when he's not doing seeds, he'll do that. He'll bump it up to
18.6 for like the
18.6
last.
to beef up the buds before he harvests. Which I
Well,
have
they didn't
never
beef
done.
up. They didn't like get more
Okay, it
weight
just
or
got
anything.
done quicker,
Well, they're already pretty fast. You know, I'm
huh?
at
Okay.
day 47 of something that I usually take like no longer than 55 days.
So yeah, it's
Seed
like
person.
an
Oh,
accidental
go ahead, Ty.
experiment. You have to let us know what it's like if it changed.
It did. I can tell you what happened. That's the reason why the fucking Chem D started throwing little nanners.
So
Why stop nanners?
it's not
Well,
gonna be
Cam came
better.
from a herm, so it's gonna herm. That's part
Dude,
of
Chem
the
is well,
deal.
Chem will do that just even if like the light isn't
Low light
is fine.
underneath.
Like even if you
Yeah.
just feed it wrong, it'll do it. If you look at it wrong, it'll do it. You're,
That's why it exists, though. So shout out to Cam. Shit,
dude, but it's like one of those things that it's like desert island. It's like a desert island strain, you know what I mean?
for sure.
Yeah, makes breeding way easier when it just fucking does that.
Dude, the
Also, when
Chem
you got raw
D,
potency to work with, that's just like top notch.
Oh,
the
for sure.
Yeah.
the Starfighter Mac, it has this like really acrid, pungent gas smell to it. And I figured when I crossed it with Chem D that I would see like gas and sour notes. Not at all. I have those hanging. They're on like day 3 of dry. But dude, they were like jackfruit. They're all sweet and tarty.
Weird. I would
Sometimes
never
it just
guess
does not
sweet.
work. Nature humbles us all the time. You think you're
No,
gonna get
it
something.
worked. It worked great. Everything, it looks amazing. It smells great. It's just unexpected.
No, I'm saying it
It's
just
not
didn't
what I
work
would have
how you would
expected based
expect.
off of my
Exactly.
experience mixing plants together.
Yeah, it's interesting because me and Gene said he'll breed with a male that smells straight up gas, like pure OG gas, and then the offspring never has any OGs. But if he breeds with stuff that smells like dill pickles, then his offspring smells straight up like gas. So it's just like there's some weird oddities that you can kind of figure out as you go through with your selections.
But then I
Yeah.
wonder if you go down to the F3, then does the gas come out? Doesn't that
I
that's when
go
you see the
back.
grandparents, how many
We'll see.
generations down before you
We'll
unlock those
see, dude.
grandparents?
I've got a tent with holding F2 seeds. They'll be maybe 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks.
Sweet.
So
Got a good
yeah, it's cool
question.
with, dude, I'm telling you, the fucking 2x2 tents with 9 square 1 gallon pots is so dope for the rotation and be able to fucking run through seeds.
That's what I've been doing for years,
Popping
Brandon.
new seeds every 2 weeks, bro. It's fucking awesome. I hit up Farmer Freeman too. I was like, hey, bro. I was like, you know, I need some sex tests. He's like, yeah, we can work something out. So he's hooking me up with some sex tests so I could keep running stuff.
They're my
But dude,
favorite one. I love their system.
I uh I I have like a bunch of trays, but none of them have pot seeds in them. I have a bunch of super hots. I've got a bunch of regular hot peppers. I did a whole tray of tomatoes, and then I did some leeks. But I've already got my potatoes planted. I planted my garlic, my onions, and the chives last year during fall.
Hell
So
yeah,
everything's
potatoes
like
for the win.
I'm about to bust off so much food at my house this year. It's going to be insane.
Okay.
That's
I
what I love
fucking
to
love
hear, man. Grow
potatoes
that
too.
abundance. Nothing
That's
better
my
than
favorite
homegrown.
crop to grow is potatoes and eat. I fucking love fresh potatoes, man.
Yeah. I well,
Potatoes are just the bomb.
the thing is, like, my goal every year is I have the same goal, which is to grow everything that I need to make Havos Rancheros. So if you can grow, if the hardest for me was growing corn. So sometimes
Corn is a pain. Corn's needy, man. It needs a lot.
sometimes I
Eggs.
skip on the corn, and just buy fucking tortillas. But I eat a lot of potatoes. I love onion and garlic and like that kind of stuff. And I make pickles, so I use all that stuff for pickling and I use and this year, since I'm doing tons of pepper, I think at the end of the year, I'm gonna do like a hot pepper Like I'm gonna have like I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 different hot sauces in a container, and I'm
Nice.
gonna have it as like at the end of the year I'll drop them for like you can buy them for Christmas or whatever.
Oh, cool.
Planning ahead,
I like it.
the
I
end of
like
this
it.
year.
I will say I got to go back to potatoes for a second because everyone always overlooks them and looks down on them and thinks that it's the simple thing. But bananas, which there's like only one variety of, and they're incredibly hard to grow, and everyone's like, "Oh, bananas, eat bananas for potassium." Bananas have 358 milligrams per 100 grams of potassium. Potatoes, 530 to 620
On
milligrams per
average, you're
100
saying, right?
grams.
Like a store bought.
This is just the general. I mean, obviously,
It's just an average though, right? For something that's like store bought. Because obviously you'd have to take into equation like soil type. If you got super healthy fertile soil and you might have higher nutrient density in your food. So
exactly.
I
But
was just curious if it was
even
like
baseline,
if it specified if it was just like average store bought.
this is just the National Institute of Health data.
Okay.
I don't know if it specifies, but I would
That's some
imagine you're getting at least
government
that, if
potatoes.
not more,
That's some
when you're
government
homegrown.
potatoes, it sounds like. If they're doing a fucking national,
Yeah.
that's not no homegrown potato.
But
Yeah.
the comparison is bananas, which are pretty much commercial standardized. It's
Yeah,
one
for sure.
variety that's internationally grown and shipped in to us. So we're all pretty much operating with the same couple. Either they're organic or they're not organic, but you're getting the same fucking Chiquita banana type shit, right? So um, as much as it's hailed as, oh my gosh, look at the banana for the potassium. Look to the humble potato that you can grow yourself everywhere and anywhere for the most part. Pretty well. They grow easily and plentifully, and they have plenty of potassium, and they're very calorie dense and nutritious, and they can be hardy in a lot of different environments. So shout out to the potato. I'm off
I'm
my
gonna
potato
I'm gonna
Dude,
throw
uh,
some I'm gonna throw
there's
some
soapbox.
sweet potatoes in this year because I like me some sweet potatoes too, and they're even more nutritious.
Yeah, and dude,
I wish I liked
potatoes
the
are
flavor.
super,
Oh,
super
so
easy
good.
to grow. Deer don't eat them, right? The deers don't eat the potato leaves. So,
Yeah.
like, you don't have to put up a perimeter if you're growing them.
Just gotta watch out for
And,
potato bugs, those fuckers.
well, I still do IPM, but I don't have to worry about the deer. If I grow squash, zucchini, anything like that, cucumbers, I got to worry about
Watermelon's another good one.
water. Yeah, I can't grow watermelon at all. They won't even let it mature. They just go at it like as soon as it starts like having any substance on it. Um, but yeah, potatoes are super easy to grow, man, and they're like, one of the cool things too is garlic and onions and chives, they're perennials. So like
Mhm.
I have my whole bed, I have a 35-foot long bed that's got onions, garlic, and chives. And a lot of that stuff I planted last year, early in spring, and then they came back on their own.
I love that.
Seed Person One's doing the same kind of deal. He's got some Peruvian peppers because he likes his hot sauces a little bit sweeter. But yeah, he said he's growing all the ingredients for hot sauces this year. Got
It's not so
ahi
hot.
Peruvian
That's if it's
varieties.
not so hot sauce is what he's got to call that. If
But
he
that's
likes it
kind of
sweet.
good though, because look at if you
It sounds
want
like
like
there's still spice.
good
Ahi,
flavoring and
pineapple,
spice
habanero.
without having to burn your asshole off,
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
that's
I
probably
agree.
a better
Yeah, I
choice.
totally appreciate that. And sweet and hot go sweet and spicy go together
Like
really well.
I
Yeah.
prefer a orange habanero, which is like 300,000, I think, on the Scoville, to a red
Mhm.
habanero, which is like
Yeah.
500,000. The red habanero to me tastes like paper. It does not have good flavor, like by
It's not
itself.
very floral. The yellow
Yeah,
one has that really kind of floral thing going on with
it can
it.
almost be fruity. It can almost taste orangey. Like there, I've had some orange habanero that like is there's so much flavor to it. Like I love it in salsas too. Like
Yeah.
the orange habanero
It's great
salsas are
with
my favorite.
mango.
Mango's a great mix with it.
Oh, I love mango.
But citrus forward stuff plays really well with it. And it's just like it's got a sneaky heat. Like it doesn't feel hot on the front end, but it kind of burns on the back end, but you just want to keep going back to it because it's so flavorful. And growing your own, I can only imagine it's you just get better and better quality and you can kind of dial in how spicy you want it and cut it
Yeah.
with peppers that are less hot if you have people out there that can't handle that heat or if you want something less spicy for, more gentle occasions.
Or even the sweet peppers and the green peppers and like peppers have, I think, more vitamin C than even oranges and shit. So that's another good one.
Yeah, like
Easy to
unconventional
grow
ways to
too.
get these vitamins but
Pretty
can
easy.
be very conventional and easy and affordable. Like a lot of the stuff is like some of these peppers are inexpensive in a lot of cases, so easy to grow, especially out here. You could just nail a little hook on the side of your house and they hang and grow like really well around here. See a bunch of people grow peppers and you walk up and smell it or eat them and if you're invited over or whatever and
I'm
have
gonna
some
try
with
to
them,
do
you're
15
shocked how
footers
good they
this
are.
year. Instead of that space where I normally grow monsters, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just when I do any work for outdoor, um, I'll do smaller plants later in the season. And so that space I'm gonna use for peppers. I'm gonna create and I'm gonna try to see if I can hit 15, 16 foot pepper plants like I do my herb.
That'd be cool. Also, I would love to see you go like Red Setter Farm style, maybe even get some seeds from him. Go giant sunflower, do like a row of that somewhere because he grows some monsters. I think Spartan grows some pretty big ones as well, if I remember
I've
correctly.
grown his giant sunflowers. I got 'em from his wedding. That he had them on the table as party
That's what
favors.
I
Like,
thought
I'll
I
take
remembered something.
those. I'll fucking take
Heck
those.
yeah.
I
You're
got
the
a big
perfect
bag of
person. You've got a
seeds.
similarly awesome garden. Michigan out there crushing it.
There's a few seeds.
I still have one more tote of this variety to go through, which is Chem Dog, Blueberry Train Mac, and I gotta clean them up, but oh man, 3 totes worth of seeds.
So, being that it's ChemDog,
Nice.
Blueberry Train Mac, it's a Blueberry Train Mac back cross.
Yeah,
How much
it's
heavier note of Blueberry Train Mac are you getting versus the initial cross?
these ones are only about this big, so I should be getting my sex tests tomorrow, which I lagged a little bit on. But I'm gonna sex test them. As soon as I have the sex tests, I'll up pot all of the females, and I have space already available for them to load up. And so I have these ones I haven't tested yet. They're basically being grown for testing right now. But the Chemdog Blueberry Train Mac was like a stringent ammonium bleach like cleaner. So super terpenoline dominant, but nasty.
Sounds interesting. I look forward to seeing how that back cross turns out because I've heard a lot of good stuff about the Blueberry Train
Called
Mac.
Berry Bad Dog. I used a male that should bring
I love
in
that name.
some berry forward notes. So um if I can keep that same pungent profile, but spice it up with a little bit of berry nuance to it, that's what I expect to see. Sometimes, like I said, with that Chem D trainer, the Chem D Starfighter Mac got something different, but I already know, and I used the F3 Blueberry Train Mac male as well, so I shouldn't see very much variation. But
I'm
we'll
looking
see.
forward to seeing how they turn out. It sounds
Yeah.
like the sex test will be back soon enough, and you'll be able to up pot and keep the females. That's always an exciting time when you get that email back, and it's like, all right, I go through and I look at like the last three numbers. It's like 708 is a male, so I like find that one, pull that one out. It's like, all right, 706 is a male, so I'm pulling that one out. But I keep like 701, 2, 3, and 7, and so I have all my females. And shout out to Noah Lee Groa showing off some females right now in his garden. Cheers, Noah. What are we looking at again?
These ones over here are Sherbaceo, and these ones right here are duct tape. I
Coming along nice.
Yeah, these ones right here, I'm getting ready to take out like Friday, Saturday, something like that. And these ones were a week behind. And then these ones are only like day 30 right here. And they're stacking pretty good for day 30. So just
They're looking
having
fantastic.
fun.
I remember like last week or the week before, and it's amazing how quick they're developing. This is always an exciting time in flower when
Oh
they
yeah.
are, past weeks three, when the stretch is over and they start stacking up. Cheers to Noah, and I am going to go ahead and share the link to the Zoom. So if anybody wants to come and hang out, show off their garden, or ask questions live. We got another question earlier from Seed Person One who said, "Does anybody on the panel have a freeze dryer? If so, what brand, size, etc.?" I'm looking at getting one for non-cannabis related stuff. I would say there's a channel called like Technology Connection, I think, who did a really good video on getting a freeze dryer for non-cannabis related stuff. And
I've
they
got one.
were a little bit underwhelmed by it. I feel like a lot of the stuff didn't come out super great and it takes a long time and you have to do everything kind of perfect and the trays are really short. So like you have to like chop everything up super fine or have it be like a liquid. I feel like to be honest, if you're getting one, it should be like to make hash or something. If you make a shit ton of hash, it'd be great. But not to say that it can't be used for anything from like,
I've got one.
fruit and yeah.
I
I'm
freeze dried a
curious
bunch of peppers.
how'd it
When I,
work?
Mhm.
Do you
Yeah.
use it for cannabis at all or other
I
non?
originally I originally bought it as part of the lab equipment when I was gonna do mushroom extract. So I have like a closed loop extractor, vac ovens, I have a freeze dryer, I have all different types of stuff. And I never ended up using it for that purpose, so I just played around with it drying food.
What were some of the highs and lows of that experience?
Oh, the thing is you just need to know where to set it essentially because you have to pull it's basically a vac oven that basically freezes everything. So it pulls out the moisture through a vacuum still. And my thing is I didn't set it right the first time, and so it pulled out. It was pulling out the water, but it wasn't hard enough, and so it was just like coagulating on the outside of the material, and it was just a sappy, like it was spicy sap stuff. It was like just capsaicin fluid or whatever, and it was just on the outside of the peppers, and they kind of blew up a little bit. You know how when you vac like a mushroom or whatever.
Or even like candies. They have like all the candies advertised as like popped. They'll like
Yeah, the
put
pop.
Jolly
Yeah, they kind of
Ranchers
did
or
that.
Skittles or whatever, and they expand because all
Yeah.
when the moisture comes out of it, it just
Yeah.
swells out.
And it's because I didn't pre-freeze them, right? So you could either pre-freeze material or you could have the machine pre-freeze for you. And all I did is I put it in there and started it. So it started pulling a vac before it was frozen. And so they kind of like, I had all these like, I don't know, I think they were like 7 pot primos or some super hots. And they just kind of whoop, they kind of exploded into little pepper balls, and then you'd see like what looked like glutation or whatever. It was just sappy stuff all on the outside of it. That
Yeah, I
was my
definitely
first
heard you should
experience.
freeze it beforehand because the device itself is mainly to yank the water out, and if you don't freeze beforehand, it just makes the process take a lot longer from what I saw in the review.
Yeah. Yeah, so I didn't know about that the first time I used it. I didn't really consult anybody. I was just playing around with it, but I ended up freeze drying a ton of peppers and
I just went down not even really a rabbit hole. I just found one video I watched from another that content creator I mentioned. I watched a different video of theirs, and so that one popped up, and I ended up watching it because I was like, it's kind of funny to watch this like non-cannabis guy review what I consider like a cannabis device. It's called like a harvest right, and I don't know if it was made for the cannabis industry or just kind of marketed at the cannabis industry, but initially that's where I found out about it. So it felt like it was a cannabis thing, but ultimately it makes sense that it would be marketed at general food and probably originated there and we kind of co-opted it. So interesting product, at least at that brand. And there's many others out there, I'm sure, but they are usually in like the $3,000 to $4,000 range and a little bit higher barrier to entry than most cheap home growers are looking to get into, unless, like I said, they're making tons of hash or growing a bunch of food. Like if you do have outdoor garden and you want to save stuff, and you don't want to do like the traditional canning methods because there is risk with that from stuff like botulism and other things.
think about
But
making like a massive tub of mashed potatoes and then filling up your racks with mashed potato so you have freeze-dried mashed potatoes on hand.
isn't that basically just instant mashed
I
potatoes?
fucking
Yeah.
hate instant mashed potatoes. I
Yeah.
think
I
that
love
shit's
them. Hate
fucking
me if you want,
gross.
Spartan, but I
Yeah,
love
instant
Ugh.
those. I
mashed
call them
potatoes
potato
are
dust
I don't
potatoes.
hate you. There's that means people are eating that shit and it's not going to
Oh, it's
waste. So that's
it,
But
not
I mean,
me.
look at it's you're making your own instant mashed potatoes. So it's like you
But
grew
it's like
it, you
they,
preserved it.
yeah, but you're like saying you're making your own shit sandwich. It's not something I want to make.
it's like craft instant coffee versus the commercial stuff. Like there's people out there that are trying to do it at the highest quality, but at the end of the day, like the instant stuff is still the garbage tier of that world.
I
Well,
like
So
the whole potato that I
interestingly
smash
enough,
up and there's still maybe a few lumps in there, man. It's not this smooth blended up fucking blop.
the the uh
Yeah.
the food that actually has the highest nutritional density that's usually picked at its ripest point are stuff that gets immediately frozen.
Yeah, I like the idea of just freezing shit. I'm a big fan.
We got What Up Doe Grow in here. I'm officially gonna introduce you because it looked like there was a little bit of a struggle to get the camera flipped around. I was spotlighting myself to try and take it off the selfie cam for you if you didn't want that. But I'm gonna remove my spotlight and remove Brandon's spotlight and Spartan's spotlight, and we're gonna give you the chance to turn your camera over to the horizontal orientation if you don't mind, so we can get the full screen effect. Hopefully, it'll snap to it. It did. Awesome. So, What Up Doe Grow? Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what we're looking at?
What's up, man? How you guys doing?
Good to have you back. Cheers.
Good. Cheers, guys. How you guys been?
You've all been good.
Doing well. Garden's looking good as per usual.
That's
That's
Doing
good.
good.
man. How you been doing, man?
good.
This is
Good. I've
what
been all right. Doing all right.
what is this? Is that a light underneath there?
What's up?
Is that a light you got going underneath?
Yeah,
That
but it's not
under
on right
canopy?
now.
Oh, okay.
Under canopy light.
Cool, cool.
Giddy
Yeah,
up.
it's
I like the
not on right
circle.
now.
I like the circle design. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of that IPM light that was going around a few years ago. I think Brandon had one.
I do.
The
Yeah, I never really used it.
what was
The
it?
intra light.
Intra light, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
we
that
got
was a UVC.
this is cherry blueberry from Tiki Madman.
Oh, cool.
His stuff's fire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Tiki. That's where I got the GG4 Dust Star.
Tiki man, he's a Spartan. He graduated from MSU.
Michiganja
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
representing.
why my phone keeps
Michigan's are strong.
blanking off.
I loved his bullpup. It tasted literally like Hawaiian fruit punch
I
in
love this
cannabis
Cobra
form.
milk. I love this Cobra milk.
Lots of good stuff out of Tiki, man. I know a lot of people that like use Tiki cuts to breed with and praises the Tiki cut, the breeder cut.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
What
pretty good. And then back there's another. This is 8 mile runs cross to Tropicana banana. That's also from Tiki.
Nice. I was getting tall. She's stretching a little bit.
I've heard good things about the 8 Mile
Yeah.
runs.
Yeah, I have never tried it yet, so we'll see how it goes.
You
I
got
haven't
some
gotten to
little
try it
girls
yet
in
either.
there.
That's a lanky one in the back for sure. What'd you say, Tal?
He's got little girls in there. What's happening with those?
On the
Yeah,
left?
those are Zillions, which is across from what is it? Skittles and lemon cherry gelato, and then orange cream pop from Humboldt. I just put
Obviously,
those, I just put those in there like 2 days ago.
I was
So
going to say, yeah, obviously they were put in there later, I would imagine.
yeah, I'm trying not to get them too tall because like I put this one in here when it was the same size as those, and look, it already stretched.
Yeah,
They got kind of stretchy, so we'll
You're
see
throwing them
how.
too good. They're stretching too much.
Yeah,
taking
Good problem to
over.
have.
yeah. And then in here, I got a bunch of veg plants going.
You could go back into that other tent and wrestle them like the late Steve Irwin, wrestling an alligator, or
I'm a big
unfortunately his
ball
last
now.
thing, a manta ray or something.
And here we got guava girl. There's another guava girl.
Those some self-watering pots right there in the middle.
Yeah, self-watering bases.
That's cool.
AC Infinity.
That's
And
I've been
over
seeing more and more
here,
people coming out with those. I love to see it, making things easier on growers.
yeah, they work good. Papaya frosting. Another orange cream pop. This is
I like your
one.
plant tags. That's cool.
They're dense in here. What kind of light are they under?
I got this is Barina Grow Force BGO. It's a Grow Force, and then I
Looks
have
good,
a
good coverage.
Grow Planner 150.
That
This
yellow
is
card looks nice and clean too. It looks like you've got a, pretty good clean setup going on.
yeah, this is a 200 watt, and this is a 150. But I only got them on what? This one's on 40%, and this one I got it on 70.
Hey, the plants are looking happy. I like a tight structure earlier in veg sometimes, just to, in your case, like they're getting too big. They're, stretching out so much. It's nice to
Yeah.
put a little compact plant in there and then end up with a big monster.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep a perpetual going. So this is my veg, and then I'll throw them in the other tent. But we got what else we got in here? Spartan puke.
Do you guys know
Yeah,
Jodam with Jake?
sweet. You know who?
Jodam or Jodam with Jake? Like I'm thinking like Jodam Natural Farming, Jadam.
Yeah, Jim. I don't know them, but sounds
I've
cool.
just never seen the name before, so I'm a little skeptical to allow a new person to jump in with I guess since we've got a spotlight up, I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna keep you spotlighted. What up, Dogro? While I allow
I'm gonna
this
keep my eyes covered just in case.
Jodam with Drake, like Drake. All right, I'm gonna scroll over on my thing so I can at least see.
Yeah, I got a Spartan puke in here. I got two Spartan pukes actually. Here's one back here.
Oh yeah, sweet man. I love seeing that.
She's doing good. Looks healthy. And then this is a papaya jelly malasada from 808. And then another papaya from 808.
Sweet.
And then this is insane OG from
Insane.
Barney's Farm.
What's that little baby?
Yeah. Another guava girl. And what else we got? Let's see. Got an autoflower in here going.
Like the one
Oh,
plant,
that's
one tent,
cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
He's got the auto watering pot underneath too.
auto flower, auto pot, or auto water. Make life
And
easy. One light cycle, start to finish. Bada bing, bada
I
boom.
got one of them, another underlight canopy. It's not on right now. I only got them running like a few hours a day.
I don't think it would need much to give a decent boost.
It looks kind of, I don't know why it looks like it needs something kind of light.
Did the light just turn on recently?
No, it's been on. I got it on 20 and 4.
Oh, okay. I
But
was gonna say sometimes when my light turns on, they look a little light greenish yellow at the beginning of the cycle, but then they clear up. Want to take a second to welcome Jodam with Drake, if I'm saying that correctly. Like, is that Jodam like Master Cho's Korean natural farming evolution with the grandson or son or whatever it is?
Hey, cheers, everyone. And yes, it is.
Very cool.
Cheers,
Cheers
man.
to you. I was a little worried. I didn't want to let you in at first because whenever I see a name I didn't necessarily recognize, and you've probably been around and I just don't remember because I've got not the greatest memory of all time. But I wanted to welcome you in, and we're still looking at a beautiful garden here from What Up Doe Grow. This is one of his flower tents. I love the corner lights. That's always a fun one, running up the poles in the back. But those are some big
Those are
hefty
some
flower
chunks, man.
plants. I got
yeah,
Yeah.
some
Great.
colas stacked in. You packed them in. This is like wall to wall to wall to wall to wall. You need all the
yeah,
light that you can get from all the angles you can get it and all the airflow that you can get. They're
two plants.
just two plants, man. That's wild. They're absolutely smashing. Is that all in like one earth box or city picker kind of setup?
It's in like a 2x4 bed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Like a
Yep.
fabric bed.
Yeah, living soil.
They
Yeah,
are
these are
uh,
about done. I think I'm probably gonna chop them in a couple of days. They've been in here. I think today's day 84. These are autoflower.
very cool, man. They're looking good. I think you're gonna get quite the handsome yield out of there for sure.
Yeah, a lot of tops. Lots of tops. It smells good. I'm getting
It's
bubble
amazing
gum
how dense
off
you
of
can
this.
pack them in there and still make it work.
Oh yeah.
I also push it like that. I like to see how much I can physically fit in the space and then worry about the light, air, and other water distribution, etc.
Yeah.
What's the maximum amount of plants you'll do in a 4x4?
And a 4x4?
Yeah.
I would do. Oh, right now I'm doing perpetual, so I'm like throw them in there as they come, but usually probably like 6.
Nice, right on. What about you, Jack? What's the most you've gone up to with your?
Right now, I'm in a 3x3, and the way I'm rocking a earth box, I do two in the traditional earth box that's a rectangle, and then I'm doing one plant in the they're called root and veg. It's more of a square, even though it's the same amount of soil. I just think the shape wouldn't work as well with two plants in there. So I'm just kind of gonna have two larger plants in the back, and then two smaller but still very large plants in the front. So I'm actually going on the lower side of the plant count. But back when I was in
Nice.
my smaller tent, it was 3 by 1.5, which is 5 square feet, and I think I packed as many as 6 1 gallon pots in there comfortably. So more than
Okay,
one
cool.
plant per square foot, and got successful harvests. So I'm curious,
Hell yeah.
what about you? How many plants do you like per 4x4 or however many square feet?
I've pushed it, and it really depends. If you're not having to worry about plant count, and I've got the space in the bedroom, I'll generally do like sea green style, but live in soil beds as well. So plant every 15 to 20 centimeters. So I've done up to 50 plants per 4x4. And then you essentially just let them grow tall sticks, easy peasy. Have 3 to 4 levels of trellis netting, but then since they just grow one straight cola each, it's pretty simple. You don't really have to cut and remove your net each time. But I've done as little as one plant per 4x4, and then just trained it out and done all the fun stuff. So right now I'm right in the middle.
Frog style, finding a balance. Are you
Yeah.
Canadian because you're using centimeters and I'm detecting a little accent? Eh?
Yes, sir. I'm beautiful British Columbia.
BC,
Actually,
man, you
funny
guys got
enough,
a rich history. It's like the
yeah, I was
California
just down at
of
the
Canada.
I was just down at the Grow Up conference. Cheers, Spartan. He came by the booth. I was
Hey,
helping Marcus down there at the SC Labs and that
yeah.
Bell and Varus testing unit. That thing's dope, dude.
That thing is sweet, man.
I
Cheers,
get my
man. It's good
hands
to
on
see
one.
you. Now I
Yeah,
know. I was
that's
like,
fun.
man, I recognize that voice. Who the hell?
Yeah, yeah. I used to. Well, I mean, I still do. Stream with Terrally Live every now and then, and I'm always poking
Shout
around.
out
So
Tara, man. Shout out to you too, man. Thank you for coming on and showing off the garden. It's always a pleasure to, well, I think this is the first time that I've gotten to meet you on live, but cool to have new people. And
Oh, it's
hopefully,
that treat.
my pleasure. Hey, cheers, Teo. It's been a minute, dude.
Yeah, how you doing, bro?
Oh, real well, real well. I was just tuning in the garden or playing in the garden. I saw the stream was on, so I figured why not hop on? And then you sent the link, so
Very
I figured show
cool.
you where we're at.
this looks like a home green source gardens almost.
Exactly.
Crushing it,
Thrown
man.
together. I'm mainly
Beautiful
under
beds.
Alias Lights, Canadian Lights. So shout out. I got a homie here, Eco Grow Tech too. He's got some quality stuff. I had some extra. These are just 24, 50K, 70 watt lights, and we've got some 4K and 5K, 30 watt lights just for some side and some bottom lighting. But I
Okay,
mean,
nice.
it really does the trick, right? Compared to just all this I'd normally cut out till the
Yeah.
24 inches. Now it's just all nice hashable product. Some
Dude,
nice
we
resin on
we
there.
we're
Love
fretting
that.
about a little, like, it might not be the best LED or whatever, but like Noah's still growing fucking fire under HPS. Like, we've made it work under all
Oh
kinds of
hell
light. It
yeah!
doesn't have to be the best, most expensive chip. The LEDs nowadays are cranking out so much freaking light. They're
Why does
bad
that
for
sound
people's
like a
eyes.
kick at Noah? It sounds like
It's not a kick at
like a
Noah. I'm just saying,
it's
like,
like what the fuck?
the technology
You
has been
can
around
still
for
do it with the
30.
HPS bullshit.
It's a 30+ year old
Love
technology
you,
and it
Noah.
works
Love you,
well.
dude.
But the cheapest of the modern stuff is so efficient that you can get away with having an off-brand one. Like, if I was growing with an HPS, I'd want to have the good one. When I was using CMH and HPS, we went for like the better brand, and we would
Yeah.
replace them every 6 months or every year to try and get the most out of them. Because you notice after, if you ran more than a year, your yield just started to kind of fall off, and that's not the case as much with an LED. And especially with side lighting and bottom lighting, it's very minimum input necessary in terms of what kind of output you can get. So it wasn't a knock on Noah. It's a hats off to Noah because he's using, it's like a Lyoto Machida. I'm gonna make a UFC reference, so sorry for anybody who's not into fighting. There's this guy called Lyoto Machida. He came into the UFC and he was like very, this is after the UFC became like mixed martial arts. Like, everybody was doing everything, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing, whatever. This dude came in and he's just like, fuck it. I do jiu-jitsu and I do karate, but I'm mainly just going to do karate. And he fucked a bunch of people up, like just very traditional karate. And nobody was used to it. So he just came in and fucked everybody up. He was a master of his craft. Bruce Lee said, I'm not afraid of a man who knows 10,000 kicks. I'm afraid of a man who's practiced one kick 10,000 times. And Noah's that guy who's grown the plant 10,000 times under the HPS. And it's just like, fuck it. It works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm not hating on anybody. I was just saying it's cool to see different implementations of, like, I have my veg for my cloning area. is just a cheap 3 foot Amazon LED little switch on light that you just plug in. It's I don't know what I couldn't tell you the brand name. I just got it on Amazon because it was 3 foot and two of them daisy chained together, and it's just enough light to keep them growing and vegging and rooting. The my veg light is a HLG. My flower light is a timber grow light, but the for some stuff it doesn't really necessarily matter that much.
I've got I've got these cheap. I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I turn my computer. But back there, I've got these little clone domes, and they came with these little LED strip lights.
I
Here,
love
let me see if
those.
I can. Let me see if I can move my.
That's basically exactly what my
So
phone light
those
is.
domes back there, you can see those lights that are lighting up those domes. They have a little 6 hour, 12 hour, and 18 hour timer on them. And I'm using those in my 2x2 tents as under canopy lighting. And it's fucking legit, dude. I just finished out my first round with it with that Chem Dog across Starfighter Mac. And you can tell that like there's better development on the bottoms.
Yeah, that's what I got. These
Everyone I know
little
who tries it
side lights
stays
I
with it.
got.
Everyone I know who has tried it sticks with it and likes it. So it's like it just doesn't seem like it like everybody who would try it, if it sucked, just like we're talking about Super Thrive, not that it sucks, but if it just didn't have a good enough effect, we would cut it out. It's more expensive to run more light. It's more cords to manage. It's potentially watering. You have to pay more attention a little bit here and there. There's some drawbacks to it, but it comes with a whole lot of benefits. It's stabilizing the humidity. It's providing a little bit of temperature swing, and it's also giving light, which is like the main food for the plant to grow for the most part. It's like taking carbon out of the atmosphere and taking
Energy.
the light and growing. And the nutrients are just kind of some building blocks or whatever. But having enough light coming from all the different angles, as we're seeing from What Up to Grow and from Jodam with Drake, um, it's really kind of cool to see more and more people attacking it from multiple angles. It doesn't have to be just the overtop. And even if you are just doing the overtop, um, I'm like a sheep home grow enthusiast, and that's why we host the show. I love that we can make it happen with whichever one. It doesn't have to be the best one. I remember there was a guy called Slower Lower Grower who was using those twisty style CFL bulbs, and he just had a bunch of them, and he would lower it down enough close enough to the plant. His plants look dank as hell. I'm sure if I got to smoke some with them, I would have enjoyed it. So it's the beauty is figuring out how to work with whatever you've got, and it doesn't have to be the most name brandiest, updated, expensive version. But if you can get that, then that's cool too.
Yeah. I only paid 250 for this, like
Doesn't look like it. Shit. That looks just like,
eight eight bars LED for 250 from Amazon.
and it's
800
got
watts. I
whites,
can't
reds,
beat it.
similar mix. I
That's a
mean,
good
I,
deal.
Working.
I can't imagine the efficiency spectrum is so much lower. It could be. I'm sure maybe Migro or somebody else will test it third party and show you exactly how much more efficient you could get if you went with a top of the level. And some people are going for maximum. Maybe they just want to run one tent and max out their 4x4. That's different than having like 6 or 7 or 8 tents and getting a good amount out of each and every one of them and making it work. So everybody's got kind of different goals and ways of going about it.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to see so many people growing in beautiful gardens and having some cool homies come on and get to hang out, whether you're from Canada or wherever. Um, it's just amazing to continue to see more and more people growing, tents making it more accessible. I Brandon is somebody I would have thought meeting you years ago, seeing the grow house setup that you were in, that I wouldn't imagine you going back to tents. And now the way that things have panned out, you went to like even bigger, like farms, commercial scale, and it's like you're still enjoying the home grow, which it's like it just shows if you're really passionate about it and you love it, then
Yeah.
you can make tents fun and exciting just by having different challenges and different breeding projects and different phenos that you want to hunt through. So it can kind of never get old. There's always something new and exciting to do, which
We're like
keeps me coming
weeks
back.
away from opening up the grow.
I still think tents are awesome.
Congratulations, man. How much pressure are you under?
None.
You're not worried about it at all? You've been waiting a
No,
long fucking
bro,
time for
we're
this,
gonna fucking
man.
crush it, dude. I mean, think about it. It's a 20 lighter, you know?
Yeah.
What's the
It's a
final
dispensary built
hurdles?
into it.
How many hurdles are left and what are they?
No, I'll say so we were waiting for the OBNDD, the Department of Narcotics. Basically, they just have to do their final interviews and they should be happening this week.
That's good.
Yep.
Fucking awesome
Sounds like
right
things are
there.
moving in the right direction, man. You're just
Enough
dotting
tent.
eyes
Did
and
you have
crossing
to
the T's.
threaten any legal action, or did they just get moving finally?
No, they just fucking took their sweet ass time. My
Jesus.
partner said they didn't want to stir the pot.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
It's we're close, so the only thing I have to do is put soil in beds, and then I'm about to I'm about to start vegging a bunch of stuff up to take cuts, and next couple weeks, man, I'll be able to bring some clones over there, start planting the beds.
Sick.
Yeah. Battle of the Breeders will resume.
Do you guys have a track bullshit yet or no? You still don't have to do a
Oh,
track
we
and
do.
trace
We
They
out?
have
have
to we
metric
have to
in,
do
in
metric.
Oklahoma. Everybody's
Oh,
lost the fight. I
gross.
can't think of a single state that
Yeah.
doesn't have
Oh,
some
gross.
something at this point.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it is what it is. We have, the only reason why I haven't been sweating it is because my partner Alex, he's basically done all the fucking paperwork and shit and like dealt with all of them. Because I was like, look, I told him at the beginning, I'm never touching one of these fucking tags,
Yeah.
you
Dude, they're
know.
so fun. They're so, yeah, it's such a pain in the ass.
But when you think
Does
about
Canada
like,
have that shit, Drake? Do you guys have
Yeah,
the
they
metric
absolutely do.
tags and all that?
Oh yeah,
Track and
and it's
trace.
ridiculous. But we've also got a pretty epic medical program still, so able to
Yeah.
rock and roll.
ACMPR, is it still
Yes.
intact? Nice,
Yeah.
man. It's like
Yeah.
Cal Prop 215 or whatever. We've got a medical program. It's just not so intact as much as I would like it to be, but it exists in a kind of hollow, empty framework that people can choose to take advantage of if they so choose. But most people are letting their stuff expire and not renewing and just going the adult use kind of side of things for the most part. But there's a lot of advantages. Like any license, renewing it can be worth it. And I've done it many
Especially here
times.
in Michigan with that new
Definitely.
25% wholesale tax. They don't put that on medical people. So go get your fucking patient card. Tell
Yeah,
these
Yeah,
people
just that alone. Here, I
money
mean, it
right
allows
there.
me to
tax
be
money.
able to have like full term plants at whatever size without really having to have many mitigations, little
Yep.
light depth greenhouse, and then indoor to whatever I really want to handle. So it just gives you that extra
I saw
accessibility and
some
then that's just like ease of
That's
mind. And
yeah, that's
crazy
sick.
ACMPR medical recs that had like 1,000+ plant counts and stuff like that. There were some people that really gamed it with their lawyers and doctors, etc.
per residence, you can have two people living there that have their ACMPR, and you can also both be a designated grower for someone, and they still have the 99 gram a day, though it's highly being looked into. But you could technically
Mhm.
have four 99 gram a day permits, which is like 480 some plants per permit. So yeah, about 12 to
Fucking
1600
hey,
plants. But
Jesus.
like you're getting like how many, it's hard enough to prove one of those licenses per residence is just for personal consumption, even if you're doing all the crazy
Yeah.
dry sift and the making the tea and doing all the topicals. So like, you're really right now, anyone over 24 gram a day, which is like 100
Mm.
plants, 100 and some plants is being somewhat looked into, they're saying, though, they ain't coming after you if you're not go up and out
My
and then
my
avoiding
defense
taxes.
would be is like I'm growing like the commercial guys, like canopy growth, where we have to throw away fucking, 2/3 of our fucking product
80%
for
of our
fucking
crop.
mold. So I gotta grow even more to make up as a get to the finish line with what I need.
Saving up for a remediator.
There you go. Yeah, we gotta get it in that remediation box,
Well,
the mandatory remediation box.
Just show them one of those videos of like the cups where the people put like, ounces or grams or how like kilos of bud into like a, leaf blower and then they torch it and then they
Oh
blow the whole
Jesus.
entire room full of
Yeah.
smoke. You're like, this is my regular consumption method. This is why I need so many plants. There's one that was like it looks kind of like a rocket ship, but it's basically like that leaf blower type situation where they've got like a big bowl of bud, like a steel bowl, and they like torch the whole entire thing, and you like go inside it, and it just like smokes you out. It's like a giant tube around you, almost like those cryo chambers that you can go in with like a bunch of cold ass
Oh
air.
yeah, okay.
But it's a bunch of fucking smoke around you. So they're coming up with some clever shit
I never
for.
had a fucking desire for that one, like the hot boxing shit. It's like, nah, I want to be able to breathe air when I'm done. I don't want to just keep fucking
Yeah, I went to like a yurt thing
all
at a
that shit.
festival where everyone was just smoking under it for even like 10, 15 minutes. After a while, it's like it becomes too much. I want to be able to see and breathe in
Yeah,
between my hits and not be like smoking other people's like secondhand air or smoke that they
already
already
breathe
inhaled
air.
and blew out.
Mm.
It's nice to refresh the air.
Okay, well, cheers, y'all. Thank you so much for having me on. I was just in the garden working away, so I wanted to pop in real quick. I'm always in the chat, usually lurking, not commenting, but love everything you guys are doing. We'll chat soon. Maybe I'll pop on again and give an update. The other room is night hours, so we'll see if it ever times out. But
Yeah, I saw you go in there
Good
with
to see you,
with the
Drake.
flashlight.
Good
They're
I did
crazy.
see
Don't
that.
fucking lose your life cycle, man. Oh, it's great fucking
Thanks for
meeting you
coming,
up.
man. It was great to have you.
I love seeing that backdrop it has with all the plants on his back. That was fucking sick.
I love the seeing different grows and shout out to all the Canadian growers out there. I talked to a couple Canadians on the regular. So fucking tons of cool gromies up there. Shout out to all the people in the US as well and everywhere else that we have listeners from all over the place. So it would take me 30 minutes to go through all the different countries. We have like 94 different countries or something that listen. It's crazy. So shout out to all y'all everywhere from Australia to the, everywhere in between. But yeah, what up, Doe Grow? It's been a
Shout out
pleasure
to
seeing
all the
yours
people out there
garden
in
as well.
fucking Mexico, man. Keep your head down. It's fucking crazy out there right now, but
Yeah, it is. It's
I'm
gonna
only
be
like
quick.
50 miles away on border territory, but to be honest, on this side, I think we're much less to worry about right now, especially considering I think one of the largest, I think it was the Jalisco cartel, one of their leaders, just got taken out by, I think it was law enforcement, like during like a
Anything
raid.
they can do to distract from releasing the files. We're
You're
gonna
right.
get
More.
aliens before we get justice.
And GTA 6.
and GTA
Yeah.
6, my God, throw that in too. Okay.
That's the meme online. It's
Aliens
like,
are
we got
here.
aliens before GTA 6? Like,
Man, the world is going crazy right now.
it
Yeah.
is, but at least in our garden we have peace and we don't have to worry about it. We
Exactly.
can be in our own little bubble. That's the beauty of the garden. Look at this. This is like a zen. It's like I see that and in the background, I know it's not playing, but I hear like zen yoga music, like the waterfall and like whistles and like birds chirping and shit. Just looking at what Up Doe grows garden, seeing plants, it just makes me
Uh,
happy.
when
That's why
I
I
look
follow so many
in,
growers.
when I look in his garden, I'm hearing some fucking, some rap music or something probably.
That's all right too. I kind of when you said that I heard like Yellow Wolf for some reason. And
There you go, Yellow Wolf. There you
Yeah.
go.
I work with his mom. We did the
The
Mama
Wolf's
Wolf
mother,
Kush
or
drop.
Mama Wolf. That's what it was.
Yeah.
that could be why it was on my in my mind because
Yeah.
Brandon's here and shout out to Yellow Wolf, man. He's got some bangers. I fucking like Yellow Wolf's music, man. Shout out to him. I
Yeah.
hope
Yeah, it's
if I'm
It's
ever out
super
there
cool,
and
dude.
you're working with him, love
Whenever
to
he's
fucking link up.
around, I get all access passes to the shows, and it's pretty cool.
I want to shout out
Yeah. I think.
Mercules too. I met him up there in BC. That dude was cool as fuck, man. He told
He's
me,
got some
he's
good
like, next
ones.
time he told me he's got, he's coming out here in Michigan. He's like, hit me up, you will get you in. And I was like, fucking sweet, man.
I went when I was in Colorado. I saw Prof and Yellow Wolf. Had all access pass. So I get to go on stage while they're performing and shit. And
Oh, that's
That's
sick.
awesome. I've heard good things about Hercules just personally as well from other people in Michigan, funny enough.
Mhm.
So I think he's got a good, I don't know if he's from there or not, but he's definitely got some fans out there.
No, he's from Canada.
Yellow Wolf good live. I seen him live a few years ago and with Jelly Roll opened up for him. This was like maybe 7 years
Dang,
ago.
that's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah,
It
before
shows
Jelly
because
Roll was
it'd be
even
the
famous.
opposite way now, I think. Maybe.
At the state, it was at the State Theater, or now what's it called now?
I don't know.
Right,
Shit.
The
right next to the Fox. Oh, the Fillmore.
Fillmore. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I seen him there. That was a good show.
Hell yeah.
yeah, I got to go to a couple of them. I went out to one in Denver, and then they played in Tulsa, and they played in OKC as well. So I went to all the shows. His mom's super cool.
I seen Billy Strings at the Fillmore. That was a pretty good show. He had like, such a good laser light show to go with that show. It's fucking wild.
Got a little wood fire going there, Dr. Lee Bloom.
Yeah, how you doing, Jack, Spartan,
Good,
Brandon?
good.
Yeah,
What's
Hope you're
up, man?
warm.
I
That looks nice and warm,
get a
man.
little
Nice tent
fire
you got.
going here.
The doc is in the
Yeah,
house.
some coals in there tonight.
Yeah, keep
Usually
it
it just
going.
burns into
We're
a
getting some
powder.
snow, huh?
Yeah, we're getting a northeaster coming here
Yeah, I seen they
tonight.
got a blizzard coming, man. It's like looking like up to 2 feet of snow out there. That's what I was seeing.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
That's tough,
I'm
man.
on
You
the
got the right
edge.
idea.
I'm
Dude,
on the
it's been
edge
like
right
70
now.
degrees
I
here.
got the I got some firewood in here to stash in case the power goes out, or I have a little generator.
Smart.
I got plenty of backup. I got a Mr. Heater as a backup. This is the CO2 extractor that I got. I'm cleaning it all up. It's over here. This thing's gonna be crazy when I get it going. This thing is digital. It's digital here, and you got your gaugers, and this is the collection vessel here. I got it apart. I'm cleaning it, cleaning everything up. I got the 220 right here to be hooked up. But this piece didn't fit on here right, so I got to go back and tell them this ain't right. It should be fitting around that, like flush. Well, that's got to go back to 220, and it has two power cords for the LED. It's a supercritical CO2 extractor. It's CO2 and there's air. There's an air. You got to hook up an air to it, air line, because there's air pressure, and you can adjust it. And there's a heater too. There's heaters in here. It looks like there's a preheater here, and then a preheater here with numbers on it. And
Thing looks fancy. What kind of PSI do you think this is going to get up to?
extraction vessel. Well,
Looks
you
like it
can
can go up to
adjust
there.
it. So that's the good part. You can put like you can adjust the temperature to how you want it, and you can bring the PSI down to like 300 if you want, or 10,000. 10,000 will flush everything right out of the whatever you put in there. But if you go lower, a lower temperature and a lower pressure, actually you can make diamonds and sauce with this, is what they're
That's
saying.
cool.
And you can do a lot with this by
I believe it. There's some wizards out there with the
different
extract
ways
side of stuff.
you can run it. It's gonna be cool, man. I just can't wait. And then I have to get this is gonna make a crude oil, and I gotta get a roto vap because then I gotta
Clean it up.
winterize it. And if I do it any other way without a roto vap, it'll take forever. You know what I mean? If I just let it as one, I want to get rid of. Let me know. So in the future, I gotta get one to make things. So I got a lot of CBD to do, and I got this year. I got this. Well, last couple of years I grew the CBG, but I didn't get much out of the New York farm in the last couple of years because of the deer. Hopefully, I can get a fence up. Once I start making money, I'll get a fence up there and maybe go growing a little better. And there's a lady here with an organic farm. She has cows and she has a country store where she sells like honey. They do honey, they do maple syrup, and they got their organic cows and everything. So I'm trying to get her on board and give me like an acre, plow it up, put the manure down, and I'll do the rest. And we're gonna need a place to dry. And since she's making this maple syrup that they own a lot of land, and we can start doing infused maple syrup if we can. If I
I
can get
love
her on
that.
board here, So,
I've had
so
some in
we'll
the
see.
past. It's
Otherwise,
good.
I'll just be going along. I could be doing dog biscuits. I could do bath bombs with it. Plus, I can extract other stuff too, like sunflower seed oil or olive oil. Oh, you can do roots in here too. I was looking up. You can do cannabis roots, and there's no CBD or no cannabinoids in the roots, but there's two other things in there. And what I heard is those two other things are good for burns. So I could do roots and make a medicine for people that have burns. You know what I
It's
mean?
good for
Make up a bath.
arthritis. arthritis as well. There's some
Yeah, that's the, what do you call it? The CBG. CBG is good for arthritis, they're saying. And I'm not sure about the roots, but there's two compounds in there that I'm not sure the
Hal might know.
names
One
of
of
them.
them's a terpene, I think. Like I think he sent some to Indra to get extracted or something, right?
Yeah, I
What
sent
and the
him
root?
like 10 pounds of roots at one point, and I forget. He said there was some kind of alkaloid maybe in there that was unique that you didn't see.
Yeah,
And yeah,
there's two things. There's two things in there. I looked it up, and they're not cannabinoids. It's something else. So I can even get those and make a lotion with that. I heard it was good for burns, the roots, the medicine out of roots. So you can blast the roots with this CO2, and CO2 is cheap. The guy telling me, oh yeah, you just let it vent out. If you have a grow room, just blow it in the grow room, and
Yeah.
whatever. And, so, and the stuff that after you blast it, it's all safe. You can put it in your compost. So there's no waste to this. And it's not, everything's clean. There's no environmental polluted in the air, you know, of the alcohol or anything.
Yeah.
And
Or
these things
butane
are
or something
safe.
else. The
This
things that's
thing's
in the
safe.
roots, I looked it up. There's several different compounds in the roots, such as triterpenoids, friedellin, and
Yeah,
epiphyridenol, alkaloids like cannabisativine and choline, choline, and sterols, cytosterol, and it's typically used for anti-inflammatory, analgesic purposes, and they're low in psychoactive cannabinoids like CBD, THC, etc. But they're high in anti-tumor compounds, antimicrobial, and neuroprotective properties. So shout out to the roots. There's lots of benefits in there. And there was a whole episode
yeah,
on Shaping Fire called Root Ball Medicine, where Shango Los interviewed a doctor who, that's where I found out about the arthritis benefit. And I always found whenever I would break up my root balls in the soil when I was transplanting and stuff like that, my personal arthritis would get a little bit better for that day or the following couple days. So I do think there's definitely some benefits, even just like handling roots, breaking up roots, and working with the cannabis plant. So shout out to cannabis for being amazing in so many different ways that even the stuff that most people throw away has benefit. Just like we threw away fan leaves for a long time before we figured out you can make cash out of them.
Shout out Shango Los too, man. I love that podcast, The Shaping Fires. I've listened to that for a long time. That's a good one.
Tons of good episodes. Very well done. Shangolos is a cool
that's
dude.
the bag. That's the bag. You stuff you have to get it all ground up good. And then you can stuff it in this bag, in these columns. And they got a plate that these fit into. So, and a tamper to tamp it down. And this is like the funnel for it right there to do that. So it's gonna be cool, man. I just can't wait. Make some crude, and then you can go from there. You can winterize it, and then um, you can use that, or you can also do a short path. The next step. I got I got a 2 liter that I haven't used yet, so I could separate the CBD from the THC eventually, and stuff like that. And I think you can remove terpenes from this. You might be able to remove terpenes. I'm not sure yet,
You can with a
but
rotovap, like you were saying. If you're gonna get a rotovap, you can just that's a really easy way to remove terpenes. You start at a low temperature, rotovap it off. The terpenes will be one of the first things to get burnt off. You collect those
yeah,
in their own jar, and then you can collect the cannabinoids and other things later
yeah,
on.
you can do that. You can do that with the short path too, but that's more work for the short path. If you have to. I'm trying to see. Yeah, maybe you have to wait to that point to get the terpenes out. Probably do because it has to be heated and they have to evaporate at a certain temperature.
It just makes it easy, super easy.
Yeah, well, I could do that with the short path.
I'll be
I got
interested
a
to see
two
what you
liter,
pull.
and I got to
Are you
filter it through
gonna deep freeze
the
your
Bruckner
material?
funnel and the flap. Yeah, well, not on this. I don't think you have to. I'm not sure yet. on this. But when you do the winterization, yeah, you mix alcohol in with it and freeze it, and then you can run it through the filtration with powdered seashells and activated charcoal. That'll take all the green out of it, takes all the chlorophyll out. I did that experiment once. I was amazed, man. I was like, wow. I wish I knew this fucking 30 years ago, that I could do this. Because every time you make oil, it's always green, or black. Sometimes you get a red tint in it and stuff, but to take the green out, you run it through the activated charcoal, and it comes out gold. It's called green to gold. It just flipped my mind out when I seen that.
They call that
It was awesome.
CRC in the biz, color remediation correction or technique or something like that. But it was very popular for different hashes and oils for quite a while in the industry, and it's still being
Yeah,
used. I
cool.
don't necessarily think there's too much wrong with it if you're really just stripping the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll brings a lot of green flavor, and it can bring upset stomachs if you're eating the concentrate, which it can be good for your stomach as well, but it also does upset a lot of people's stomach in a concentrated form like that. So there's certainly
Yeah,
benefits. With a powdered seashell is something I hadn't heard of. What was the reasoning behind that or benefits of that?
that's the filters. That's like a filter. It's a Bruckner funnel. I got a big 2-liter one, gigantic, and it has a big filter paper that goes in it. It's like 10 inches diameter. It's big, and you put your powdered seashells in there. That's like a pool filter. They use it for pools. The guy told me that's where I went and got a big bag. Got a big bag at the pool place, and then you put activated charcoal on top of it, and whatever you're gonna mix up. I mean, whatever you're gonna run through there, you could even throw activated charcoal in the liquid and shake it around a bit, and then dump it through the filtration through the Bruckner funnel. And you could do it a couple times, I think, but um, I did it, and it came out. It came out like gold. The oil was like gold, and it was amazing. So
I bet you
that's
the
cool.
flavor was a lot more enjoyable to smoke or consume when it was gold.
I, yeah, I don't know what I did. I was just doing it for experiments just to see. I think I threw it in the, what do you call it, the boiling flask, and it's still sitting in there, or it's still in a liquid form that I didn't separate. See, that's a problem. I can't separate. That's why I got to get a rotovac. Because I was doing alcohol extractions for years, So, but I would just let it evaporate off for like 6 months, and and now I got, what do you call it? I could have put it on the mantle with the magnetic stirrer. I mean, I could have did something like that, but
I've got one
I
of
just
those
do
extract craft that pulls a vacuum, but man, it's loud and it's slow. You reclaim like 96%. I have the small one, the Source Turbo, I think it's called. And you can only get
Yeah,
like 1 to 2 grams a run for the hours of elbow grease. It's like making ice water hash. It's just so much work for so little
yeah,
yields that and that one's like way louder than bubble hash. So it's I have it in storage. I haven't used it for a long
yeah.
time.
So this thing is cool because it takes like 2 hours to do a run, or 90 minutes, I think they're saying. So it's pretty quick, and it doesn't cost a lot of money to run because CO2 is cheap. It
Yeah.
goes by the pound. It was saying like 4 cents a pound or something. The guy's
Well, and like
saying
you
a
said, you
tank
just
of
dump it into your grow room at the end. You're giving
yeah,
yourself
well,
a side benefit
yeah,
there.
I'm not growing yet. Too cold here to grow right now. I don't have the floor hooked up the right way yet. I still got a solar panel I want to hook up to the floor, and I didn't. the floor ain't going yet. It should be, but it takes a while. It's only me doing all this
One
stuff,
step at a
so
time. One
every
step
day
at a
it's something
time.
else comes up. I got to do that. You know what I mean?
I know the feeling,
And
brother. I know the
and
exact feeling.
now I don't have a vehicle, so that makes it real tough. So yeah, so I'm just right now I'm just grinding up everything, getting ready to run. All the CBG. I'm running it through a screen like a, a cal- calendar, something like that, with like a
Yeah,
mesh
like a little
screen,
sift.
metal.
Yeah, like a sieve kind
Yeah,
of.
I'm running it through there, taking out all the twigs, getting it all ready. I got like 3 pounds done. But before I do anything, I'm going to mix it all together, mix it all up. So it's all mixed up good. Then start doing it. You know what I mean? This way I have all of everything in it, you know? So yeah,
Sounds
and
like
I
some good
got,
stuff. I just noticed we have
yeah, and
about
I got
five
hundreds of,
minutes. We got 5 minutes left, and there's five of us. So I'm going to
okay,
pass it
I got,
first to you, Dr. Lee Balone, for your final thoughts and shout outs before we shut it down tonight.
okay. Yeah, thanks for having me on, people. And, I'll show you how this system will work in the future. And I got a lot of CBG to do. I mean, CBD over the years, like a couple 100 pounds. So I'm going to do the same thing with that, is break it all up, grind it, and mix it all together. And it's going to be super. I got like 16 different COAs for it. So
We'd
yeah,
love to have you
okay.
back on whenever you
Yeah,
get it all up and running, and maybe after a run to hear your kind of thoughts and feedback and how it
yeah.
all went.
I should show you doing it. All right, man. Cool.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Have a good night. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Lee Balone. Great to have you.
All right, brother.
And then first of our regular panelists this evening is Spartan Grown.
Thank you, Jack. And yeah, thank you everybody who came and showed their growth. Dr. Leave Me Alone. What up though? And Jadam. I remember Jadam, so I'm sorry.
Drake.
Thank you. And also I want to do I don't I just wanted to say, rest in peace, Dr. Elaine Ingham. And that was a big loss to us there. But she did, her life's work was the soil food web, so she's going to live on forever as we expand on that and learn more about the soil food web and how that works. So, but yeah, I wanted to say that too. And other than that, much love everybody out there, and keep on growing.
That was actually the first I heard of it, so a little bit of a shocker there because she was pretty iconic in this community and in many, and so will be sorely missed. But the education will live on, and she created a heck of a program and organization, and I think that they'll continue to keep the education flowing, much like we're trying to each week, having good discussions and trying to keep people growing. And the proof is in the pudding. We've got people with hundreds of pounds of CBD growing here on the panel. We got people with home grows of all shapes and sizes and different lighting and options and ways of exploring it. So I love to see it all, and I'm just so thankful to keep doing it every week. So I'm gonna pass it next to Noah the Grower for his final thoughts and shout outs. And thank you again for showing your garden, Noah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for hosting. Had a good time as always. I'm Noah the Grower on Instagram. You can find me there, and I'll see you every next week.
Brandon Rust had to jump out and he was harvesting some beds. So shout out to growing and having a bunch of tents going and some beds going so you can have some harvest plants to harvest. So you know where to find Brandon at Full Crop Sciences and BokashiEarthworks.com. You can find his social medias and all that stuff, pretty consistent with all those namings. And also shout out to What Up Doe Grow, who showed their garden as well and jumped out before they were able to say goodbye. But awesome to have you as well. I love seeing all the different kinds of auto watering setups and different autos and photos and different lights and cool different stuff. I love having all you guys on, so it's my pleasure every time. And last and certainly not least of our regular panelists this evening is the American one, Tao and the mute button.
Jack, as always, thanks for hosting, and good to see everyone on the panel. And yeah, I totally remiss and forgot about Dr. Elaine Ingram. She literally was the coiner of the phrase "the soil food web," and she was the originator. There was no one before her that made up that term and concept. So that's really amazing. I didn't realize that until I looked into her a little further when I learned that she had passed. But and yeah, she was generous with her time with the cannabis community and all that. So she was really a plus one, man. She's awesome. So yeah, I hope the family and everyone that knows her and loves her is taking it well. And yeah, rest in peace. But anyway, yeah, shout out to everyone in chat and peace out. Have a great week. We'll catch you guys next week or somewhere in between. Keep growing and keep smoking. All right, late.
Great having you as always, Tal. And I totally agree with everything that you and everybody else said. A major loss. And it is always interesting. She's a pioneer. And to learn about and know about the pioneers in the community, to have followed her of intimate knowledge of a lot of her concepts and materials. I watched hours of her content. Looks like my connection's unstable. Oh boy. Well, shout out to Elaine and rest in peace to her, and hopefully her family's all doing well in this tough time. I know it's never easy to lose somebody, especially such a matriarch, I'd imagine, of her family and her community. So shout out to her and all the great stuff that she did in her lifetime. And just because somebody passes doesn't mean we can't appreciate their work still. She wrote a lot of great stuff and did a lot great, many, many great things in her time. So she will be remembered, no doubt. Y'all know where to find me at Jack Greenstock or Jack_Greenstock. And yeah, I'll be posting this on social medias and like X tomorrow, as well as the podcast platforms. So keep on growing, y'all. Cheers.
Keep growing.
And grow with love, everybody. Have a great one. Catch you next time.